We're back at 2 p.m., but for now we have the midday show. It should be a fun one here. Joe's ready, Shreef's ready. They're at their desk, locked and loaded to trade everything. And keep pumping that stock visualizer. Put your names that you want in the chat right there, right now. And then just I'm just leaving you with the fact that we just basically stopped out of Apple. We still have a few more shares, like 1 or 2 percentage points left in our account right now for Apple, but it may pull back on this China news. It's just funny that you get TikTok deal, but then you don't, and then you do, and here's the framework, but maybe we don't. So I think that story is still interesting. You know what we didn't look at? We didn't look at Oracle. But Oracle right here, 303 right now. That tends to move today if there's any kind of news about that as well. So, all right, Neil, I'll see you soon, obviously, and hopefully that lemon chicken is good, and we'll see what we get on our salad. So
it probably won't be.
That's going to be exciting. Thank you for the blackout we had today, and you guys stayed strong and did not disconnect. So if that ever happens, again, by accident,
a little weird, but
let me know what's going on, or let us know in the chat. So, all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you at 2 p.m. It's the midday show. Joe Sharif.
Get them, boys. Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. That your boy, Joey Options. He's stretching up a storm, and I'm Sharif. And where are all my people at in the chat? Let's see who's joining us today. Joseph Options. We got Koss. We got Rex Banner. Don G. Dangler. He's dangling a 0.1 million BTC. My PD right there. We got Anurag, man, back. Anurag. We got back. Spicky Eater, Jason, Adrian, Ichiro, Dr. JD Biz, and Pretty Girl K. Get it, Pretty Girl. We got Parath. We got Dollars Sales Solutions. Eliza, Don Sharifo. I love that one. Shay Soul, Herman B, and Rook 78. Shout out to Andrew Chow and Roll B as well. Adrian Patterson, Mohammed Salah. That's pure cap right there. Shout out to my man Mohammed Salah there in the chat. Matt G, Dude V, G Talk 5150, and Satijinder, Pete Rock, Misham. We got Mido, CR7, Ronaldo over Messi. That's crazy. They're both good. Coolman. Who else, man? Let's throw in your name if you're new. Death God. That sounds ominous. Whoa. Scott R. Henderson, Jason. We got the philanthropist Baker and Idris. One more. Marco Hernandez. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. Let's just get some, what's it called? Business out of the way.
Yeah.
I got shut down today trying to take BREA long, so we're going to be in the sim today, but we're going to put on the trades in the same way, the same fashion. You got to take shots, and I took my shot today, and I got clapped.
Sometimes you take a beating, man.
I took a beating, and it was pretty quick.
That was me on Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, it's better though. That's headshot. For me, it was more like a death by 1,000 paper cuts.
No, I went in deep, so that was kind of on me.
That's headshot.
Oh, that's a headshot?
Yeah, headshot. Boom, done.
Gotcha.
You're gone for the day. For me, it was just a bleed out, really, essentially. And those can be a little bit worse. I'd rather be relatively quick, guys. All right, let's see what we got going on. I don't know why I'm trading, but anyways, let's talk about what we cooked up here on the day. That's going to be in Bitcoin. Yes, we enter, we add, pop. We do get stopped out 50% right there. Nothing to write home about. And then sure enough, bang, we take another attempt, go higher. I actually made a small mistake right here. And I went short, so I just got it right away, did another little scalp right there. And I'm trying to find a bottom, but I don't think there's going to be one today. Except for maybe if we hit this trend line is what I'm looking at. So my contracts yesterday was, yeah, I know, Hangry Wife, not that shocking, I don't think. Obviously, slightly and get back in at a better price. I was up bigly over the past couple of days and just gave back the majority of that there. So we might hop out because I have a strong feeling that we're not going to continuously grind higher, and then we might see a little bit of a pullback here leading into the later months of the year, Sharif.
All right, guys, this is the one that everybody's looking at, and rightfully so. This is a sim trade here, so I did take this long at 9.5. We got out at 12.5, and then I ended up going short for a little bit because it was losing trend, but I covered pretty quickly for like $1 winner. But look at the move that this one has put since I covered my short. $10, 9.5 generally holds, basically comes back and test the breakout area where I got long. And look at this thing run up, man. 682%. It's squeezing by 17 like it doesn't even matter. It just blew through the whole dollar level. And there is 1820. So this is really going right now. 700%. It's a rocket ship at the moment. What I'm trying to see is where this one finds at least a momentary top. Do we have to wait till 20? To get all the way up there, or what's the situation? So a little bit of selling here as people take profits at around $18, back down into 17 we go. This is a very, very strong name. It's done plenty of volume. You're going to have plenty of liquidity with this one. 52 million shares, but it does get spready at times. At times it goes about 5 to 7 pennies wide with the spread. So here comes that $16 drop. I want to give you some levels. So the 10 EMA on the 5 is a little bit below 14, around 13 3/4. But price action resistance tops out at around $12.80 to about $13. That's the level that I took out this last little beak wetter on the long at. So be on the lookout here for a move back down. It held the 10 EMA on the 5 like a glove basically all morning. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. Coming on the 5, it holds the 10 EMA on every closing print and then rockets back up. So that's where I'd be looking to get in if it does make its way back down. Otherwise, I'd be using the 5-second chart to spot areas of local support and resistance. We're going to pause for a second and send it to Adair at the big desk.
Yeah, we have so much being said right now by Stephen Myron. It's worth noting as well, we have comments from President Xi just being very cagey about the TikTok issue. That's really what's been discussed, that he wants to actually talk to the companies or the firms involved in the deal. But let's talk here about Fed's Myron for a bit. This is his first speech since he was confirmed, which was on Tuesday, and also, of course, since his first meeting with the FOMC. He was the only person who voted for that 50 basis point cut, but he did say that he, quote, hopes he'll be able to persuade his colleagues, likely with regards to further rates. He did say right now he's only here to fill a 4.5-month term. He'll be resigning at the end of January, but he did say that if he does get offered a Fed position beyond January, he would resign from the White House immediately. Right now, he is still working at the White House, though not actively. He's taken an unpaid leave of absence. But yeah, right now, interesting comments from Myron saying that he will actually explain his dissenting vote and the fact that he wanted to vote for the 50 basis point cut more on a speech on Monday. He's speaking again on Friday, but we're going to find out more on Monday. Back to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm still sitting in the same stuff here. Ethereum, I guess you don't see. We don't even have wrong names up there as well.
He's switching it right now.
Okay, all right, yeah. Thank you. So yeah, there it goes. I'm just going to get out of this here because it's going to continuously bleed. Let's actually pull up the underlyings on a different chart so we can see it correctly, not this garbage of other stupid charts here.
Want me to take over?
No, I got it here now.
You tell those charts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how inaccurate they can be, and now there we go. All right, let's pull it up here on something better. This is what I'm talking about. So 116, I wouldn't be surprised if we punch through that support level, head a little bit lower, and then in the likes of Ethereum, I think the same thing there, heading down. You get that big engulfing candle. I'm like, that's nice and strong, but on this pullback, just never really got that bounce. Once it snaps that 5, this level right there, I don't know what that is. This is the market cap. Once it breaks, then I'm just going to get all out of my contract, Shreve.
All right, Joey. We're going long on SERV coming into the volume weighted average price. Where do we get long? Let me tell you guys exactly. We're at 40. Showing 40s right now. This is the volume weighted average price. So it's a 1531 high. Let's see if this one can hold VWAP. VWAP on my levels 35. So we're getting in 5 pennies above the volume weighted average price. Local area low where I know my trade is wrong is the break of 1420. So we risk 20 pennies. Why do I say that? Because this candle over here right at 10 a.m. came back into 20, spent all of like a quarter second there and then rocketed back up to make the high of the day. So I like that 20 level as an out. So we're going to go ahead and give that a little bit of room, right? So we'll give it to 5s. And then how many shares do we have? So we'll put that one there. Back to AGMH though, because this is the big boy. It's the high flyer. So I'm looking at the 5-second chart now to spot areas of support and resistance. So it looks like 16.5 is a bit of an area. I want to say 16.5 to about 16 3/4. Why do I say that? Let me show you the 5-second. This is what I'm looking at right here. So this is a 5-second chart on AGMH. There was a consolidation level before the breakdown at 16.5. Lo and behold, when we popped off 15, where do we get that rejection? You guessed it, 16.5. So I'm alive to that, but I'm also alive to the fact that we're putting in higher lows on these successive troughs. in anticipation of a reclaiming of 16.5. So that is my look right now on AGMH. I know everybody's probably looking at this one as well in small cap gapper world, and you guys are absolutely justified in doing so. So let's continue to watch this one. We can kind of let, what's it called, SERV do its thing. We're 16.5 right now. How does this one resolve? Do we get topping tail candles or do we get continuation? 16 and 2/3 and right back down to third of a dollar. But most notably, we are still putting in those higher lows. So if you are gauging where to put your out, if you're charting at least on a shorter term time frame, my idea here would be to look for the previous area trough and base that as your stop. But look how quickly we rejected that $16.5 level, but we're not really giving up 16 all that quickly. We're still holding above 16, putting in those higher lows. That's what I'm going to be looking at right now. I'm looking for another attempt at the day high on AGMH, which is currently $18.10. It really is $18 though. That's the real level because all the breaches of 18 were wicks and not on a closing basis. And you know how I feel about closing print. So that's what I'm looking at, Joey. We're going to keep an eye on this one, but let me show them what else I'm looking at over here since we're doing it freaking live. So AGMH, get out of here, Trade Ideas. You don't pay the bills anymore, baby. You guys are gone. You guys are absolutely gone. Zeno. It's not even letting me close it, Joey.
Oh, no, that's it.
No, it's good. I just had to cancel. Bye. All right, so we're also looking at QMCO. So Quantum, very strong. QMCO getting a big boy breakout today to the tune of 33 3/4. That's bottom left of your screen right there. VERI, basically a repeat offender. We've been talking about this one for quite some time. Today having an outsized day to the tune of 17%. 420 close, about $5 resistance. UMAC as well, putting in one hell of a bull flag over here. Beautiful look, and it did hold volume weighted average price when it, dropped back down off the day's highs, only to make a subsequent day high. So UMAC in focus, and at FATN, you're a fat L, bro. All right, because this one is losing the volume weighted average price in a hurry, and it will lose its spot on the side chart if it does do that, Joey. So that's what we're looking at right there. D-Loaf, oh no. D-Loaf dropping cash in the chat, and it's Canadian currency too. Shout out to my man. For your woes, Sharif, and for beer and wings for the midday too. I got married recently and leave for a 3-week honeymoon in Japan tomorrow. My advice for managing swings when I'm away, for managing swings when I'm away, I'll try and chime in the chat. Drunk at 1 a.m. while eating ramen. That's going to get a round of applause for me, man. And I'm low on energy, but that one definitely buoyed me up. Neil hit the congratulations for you. More happy we couldn't be for you, brother. That's a big step. Shout out to you, and may the rest of your life be as fantastic as it already has been, man. So shout out to you. Now, with respect to the swings, I would say throw in those stop orders, brother, ahead of time. Look to those key levels that I'm sure you know how to ID on the chart, and throw in the stops there. Obviously, as well, I use the app, so you know my brokerage, who it is. So I've got the app as well, so you can tune in anytime, or check in anytime, I should say, and see how they're doing. So those would be my advice. I know that you do that constantly as well, because unlike me, you've traveled in the last year and a half.
Okay, I see how it is. Just as a trader, I guess you got your eyes on it at all times, right? You got to keep your eyes on the prize at all times. Other than that, just do exactly what Sharif said, right? You obviously don't bag hold, do anything, get out if you have to. Just manage it as if you were at home, but obviously enjoy your time as well too. One thing that I will say that I like about what Mark Zuckerberg had going on with these new glasses is that he's like, I like the point that is like, you're trying to get people to sway away from looking down at their phone and stay in the present. And I think that's really important. The market will be here when you get back, so make sure you enjoy your honeymoon as well too. And with that, you could just put your orders in, and it's either you get stopped out or you catch a fill that works in your favor. So take something along those lines. I'm long some Bitcoin, Jag. We were nicely green here, but going heavy off of these lows, and this is not good whatsoever. It looks like we might continue its bleeding. I have some trend lines that we had drawn, and it snapped it to the downside, and it looks like we want to continue that path. So watch out, man. This aggressive selling in crypto is not a good look whatsoever. I might just get out of everything, to be honest with you. But again, I got some time on the contracts. We'll wait till Monday to see what's going on over the weekend. Rivian Millionaire, you said new all-time highs by this weekend. I didn't didn't think that was going to be the case, to be honest with you. Just from the technical setup, I didn't see anything. Price was really starting to compress. You're not really moving in a specific direction. So we'll be patient. Even though it is constructing lower high, whatever it may be, we're still stuck in a consolidative zone. And I think I would wait until later in the year to maybe we get another move in the crypto space. It takes significantly longer than what we're anticipating. I know I thought that come the rate cut that we would see a climb in the space. Katina Man was saying the exact same thing, and it hasn't been the case. So if it's that obvious, they're not going to make it overly easy for us within trading. So it puts in a new low. I will give back the majority of my day here, but we're going to sit into this just in case we do get a potential bounce there, Shreve.
All right, guys, just want to point out, Adara put on the headline there, Stephen Moran making comments after the blackout period. Very interesting, basically saying he hasn't been on the Fed long enough in order to be able to convince anyone. I'm assuming he's referring to his vote for the 50 bips, which he was alone on, and nobody voted with him on that. So we'll have to see how his tenure does there, but we'll be watching the Fed. So I'm continuing to look at AGMH over here, looking at getting in and following trend. Again, we got a momentary break of that 16.5 level, but we haven't made any continuation above 17. We're still zigging and zagging in the 16. So I've got a DCA to defend the 200 EMA, or what I perceive to be a good area of support over here at the breakout area. It's waiting at 1575. So we're in at 88s right now, so we're a bit out of the money. Let's keep an eye on this one and see what it's up to. I'm also keeping my eye firmly on SERV. It is coming back down. Anything below 25 gets me out of the trade. Simple as that. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then VERI. This one's really going here. So let's pull that bad boy up and see what VERI is up to. Bouncing off the 10, but still putting in lower highs. So that bottoming tail candle bounced below the 10, and then it ended up closing above the 10 EMA, but it's still putting in successively lower highs on every subsequent 5-minute candle. So I wouldn't be quick to jump into this one yet until I can see a 5-minute candle to make a new high. That would likely get me into the trade. We're going to pause for a second and go back to Adara.
There's a lot with Stephen Myron here, or Moran, I've heard it pronounced both ways, at this interview with CNBC. He said he does say now he's going to be deciding his own policy approach. But the other thing that's interesting is that Kevin Hassett, he's speaking about right now as well. Apparently, he's currently the director of the CEA, which is the position that Stephen Myron took an unpaid leave of absence for to join the Fed. Then he also said Kevin Hassett is brilliant. Quote, "We would all be lucky to have him." That could be in reference to Hassett's candidacy for the Fed chair position. We know that he's widely been considered a leading candidate, but not confirmed based on the context I'm seeing here. So again, Fed's Myron seems to be talking about the potential that Kevin Hassett could be the Fed chair here, saying that we'd be lucky to have him. Back to you.
Interesting. Yeah, okay, good look there. We'll have to wait and see exactly who ends up with that position, Joey. But it has been an interesting saga back and forth there. What do you got there, brother?
Yeah, look at this waterfall type price action.
Oh,
this is big time. Yeah. I mean, it's just straight to the downside.
Straight
Once it
to
snapped. Boom, 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 boom. And I know I'm trying to long it. So essentially what it is, I'm going to have to find something else to trade here, guys, if we continue to move to the southeast, right? I mean, this is just south at this point, not even east. So essentially what's going to happen is that I'm trying to catch a falling knife, and it may not work. We do have this massive volume candle, but you can see that we also broke the lower end of it. So slightly alarming. If it continues, then yeah, it is what it is. We'll give back the majority of the day. But other than that, we're positioned off of these lows. I like it. Is it going to work? That's going to be a completely different story. You got to be patient, and time will tell. There's multiple signals at the volume weighted average price here in the Nasdaq TQs, that is. But then there you go. You get a little pop north of it, and then you punch through some key support levels, and then you're continuing to the southeast there. So coming back in, and then also as for the quantum space, some good moves here out of the gate. You can see that IONQ really strong opening drive, 5-minute candle, boom, boom, boom. 5-minute orb traders, really good stuff. And I know someone in the chat was asking us about, hey, can you touch on the triple witching? Yeah, we can absolutely do that. So a bunch of contracts are expiring. I think it's index options. Obviously, you have the options contracts as well too, and then one more group. But essentially, what you want to look out for is, with the exception of the expirations, look at the volume on some of the more liquid options traders, like the Teslas, like the Nasdaq, like the SPY, like NVDA, like Google, like Apple, and you're going to see a lot of volume on that 5-minute print. Millions and millions of shares on that first 5-minute candle. real, and that's just people closing contracts. We can pull up the options chain and take a look at it, and your chances are, I haven't even since the open, considering I've been focused, but I guarantee you that you're going to see an outstanding amount of volume, and there it is. I didn't even have it. Bang. This is what it is. 204,000 at those at-the-money strikes. 112,000 right there. Just some big-time size. And then if we go over to the Qs, it's going to be relative as well. So there we go.
Get it,
and see what we got going on. Are we going to get a pop? 141,000, 81,000 on these 0 DTEs, obviously expiring at the end of the day. That's what essentially what it is. It's just a mass amount of volume coming into the markets.
All right, we are going with Dara.
Yeah, there's again more interesting comments here, specifically about rate cuts coming from Stephen Myron. He's saying that he doesn't think a 50 basis point cut would worry the markets too much. It's a measured pace. Further, actually saying that it's reasonable, quote unquote, to get to the neutral rate half point at a time. So not only did Stephen Myron have the one dissenting vote at this meeting, he voted for 50 basis point cuts. Everyone else voted 25. Myron's also advocating for continuing to cut rates at 50 basis points at a time going forward. So really interesting stuff here. Again, Stephen Myron, Fed, currently doing this interview with CNBC, and back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I'm not really surprised by that. If you really do think that he was supposed to be cutting from like the beginning of the year, then he's behind, what, 75 bips? I mean, that if your opinion is that he should have been cutting, well, he's super late, so the only really catch up is an outsized hike, but I don't think we're really going to get that.
Sharif, when we first started QT, I think the market was still pricing in like 3, 4, 5 cuts in the first year, when Jerome Powell the whole time was just like, yeah, we're staying higher for longer.
Well, yeah.
And then sure enough, obviously the market's going to be somewhat optimistic on that front. And the way, when I was listening to him, I'll be surprised if we get another 50 bips throughout the year. To be honest with you, I'll be surprised. But yeah, it is what it is. As for IBIT, let's see if we can we got a little pop higher there. ETH-A, not doing too much. I think it's going to continue to move a little bit lower, so I'll hop out if it does construct another high, another 5-minute low, sorry. If it cracks their 5-minute low, I'm out of that one. See you later. 2 attempts on that. I don't want to give back more than needed on something that just put in mass amounts of volume and doesn't want to turn around just yet.
All right, VERI is doing pretty good over here. We took the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. For full disclosure, we should have been getting it at 93s. We ended up getting it at 95s. It just took out 5. Took out that $5 area. Now it's a 506 high. It's only up 21%. I shouldn't say only, because that's pretty good. Let's layer some orders over here, see what we can get on this bad boy. VERI. Sorry, the position board is not working, guys, so I'm going to continue to tell you what I'm in. I'm in VERI, and I'm in AGMH, and here we go. Sorry, Assassino. AGMH is taking out some levels. It's back above 16. We've got 1568 on this one, so let's see if we can get that continuation. 16.25. There's a seller at the $0.25, at the fifth of a dollar here. Can we shake that $0.25 seller? This is the prior area of consolidation on the 5. We consolidated for a prolonged period from 1107 till 1118 at that 16.25. So that same seller on AGMH at 16.25, rearing his butt ugly head again. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that one and see if we can make the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. That would be above 1640. So even though 16.25 is where the level is, 1640 is the prior bar high. So that is what I'm looking at there. Back to VERI, looking for continuation above 505 here, Joey, as this one just made a new high of day. So packing my patience there, baby.
All right, man. Good luck there. So yeah, same thing, sitting in the same names. Let's pull up the top performing sectors. I'm looking for a bounce in this crypto space. Ethereum's not doing that. Said that countless times throughout this session. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that. I might have to hop out. Really frustrating. All right, there we go. See what we got cooking up here.
Okay.
All right, guys. Top performing sectors, we have consumer discretionary up just a little bit under 0.4%. Tech sector holding on by a thread, about 0.1% there. And then we have the communication service slightly red, down 0.1%. And then also the bottom 3, we have the financials negative 0.25%. Industrials down 0.4. And then we have energy down 1 1/3 there, guys. Ebbs and flow. You were right, man. We were like, hey, it's going to be a slightly red session today. And I think that's been the case. I mean, there were some strong opening drives. There goes Bitcoin.
Oh,
let's go.
Bitcoin.
Let's go Bitcoin. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to. All right, so let's
What were you going to say?
Well, the other word, man. What rhymes with bit, right? So here it is. Yeah, that's how we're feeling,
that's
my friend.
Katina Man vibes.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. We'll take half off up there. Bang. Did I?
You doing it live?
All right. Yeah. No. Oh. Whoa. Okay. We didn't get filled on half of what we wanted there,
That's
Sharif.
crazy.
That's crazy talk. No. Okay. Can you take it for me?
Yeah,
please?
absolutely. Okay, so we're continuing to watch AGMH. I've got a 15.52 cost basis, and it's hovering around 16. Again, multiple rejections between the quarter to the half dollar. We're in this consolidated phase, a little above 16, a little bit below. Do we start losing it here? We just lost 16, and we are just losing that trend. So a little bit down we go again, but we're still above the 10 EMA. I'd like to pack my patience on this one, especially now that I've got a cost basis that gives me a bit of room. So we're going to pack our patience. VERI continues to do well, so let's wet the beak up here as well and set some other orders into the area high, as well as, a little bit above that 10 penny area as well. So we'll throw those on there. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. I also want to mention QMCO. Okay, QMCO is not strictly a small cap gapper, but certainly trading like one, at least on the day. So it's got a bit of a bull flag here that I want to take account of. And looking at it a bit further, it feels like more if it's a bull pennant, right? So what I'd be looking for is a decided break of the upper trend line. So case in point, let's do it like this. We'll go to Darren in 1 second. So that's what the trend line I'd be looking for to break on a decisive basis before I go long. But QMCO up 36 2/3%, and definitely putting in a good-looking bull pennant here. Adair.
Good look.
Yeah, we have Donald Trump making a true social post about his call with President Xi, and this is really worth noting because of his emphasis on TikTok. Some of his implications here with TikTok are very different from what Xi was saying during his interview after the call. So specifically here, he says, he talked about how they mentioned, quote, the approval of the TikTok deal. Then again, he says he appreciates the TikTok approval. Now, again, President Xi was pretty tepid when it came to TikTok. In his comments, he said that China's position on TikTok is, quote, very clear, and that he actually wants to meet with the companies involved in the deal. Trump's, though, saying that there is approval on TikTok. If I get any other info, will let you guys know. But again, this TikTok deal potentially approved affirmatively, according to U.S. President Donald Trump. They also, apparently Trump is going to go to China in early 2026, and the President Xi will be coming to the U.S. at, quote, an appropriate time. And they're going to call again soon. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara.
Yes.
All right. So I was just notified by Fabian because I'm in the sim today. I'm not going to be able to show my position, so I'm just going to keep reading them out to you guys. If I get in a new position, I'll announce it. But the position board's only going to really have Joe's levels on there. I do apologize for that, obviously. If we do fix it between now and then, obviously we will put it up. We'll get it back up and running, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we got that pop there in what we were looking for. I took 90% of it off. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to mess around with falling knives. If you have the opportunity to take the profit, leave it. Leave 10% as a runner, and whatever we get from it, then that's totally fine. It's unfortunate that Ethereum doesn't want to participate. Come on, Tom Lee. How are you going to big this thing up and it's not doing bubkis?
Tell him, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. I got to have a conversation with that guy to see what he's got going on there, considering everybody's grabbing it hand over fist, apparently, all these treasuries, but yet it's continuously selling. Makes a lot of sense. Maybe it doesn't. But anyways, all right, guys, Ethereum getting a little bounce. Look at this volume print. I mean, eventually we're going to probably turn around. I like that it's one of the largest prints throughout the session. Keep that in mind. So maybe this is going to be the one engulfing, boom, hammer candle. I think the odds are in our favor. You have to be patient and allow time to tell. Now let's get back to IBIT as it's continuing to climb. Sorry, just going, yes, let's go. Nice move there. We'll take another 10% off. Bang. There it goes. And there goes Ethereum finally slightly in the money, getting that bounce that we were looking for. So we're going to take a little bit more off of that one. May as well go 50%, Sharif, because we don't know. Like you got to take the pops on these falling knives, my friend. So there it is. Bang. Thank you. We'll go 1 for 1 on Ethereum. I mean, this loss was substantially more than what I made right there, but we'll take it anyways. Bitcoin popping, Ethereum popping. This is what we want to see.
All right, guys. VERI being good to me for the moment. 512 high. What do we have on? Pardon me, 497s. We're continuing to wet the beak. Here's that new high day back into 512, excuse me, 511, showing right now on the level 2 ask side of the level 2. So we'll continue to watch that. But I'm really interested in getting in QMCO. And it still hasn't decidedly broken that upper trend line for me to feel comfortable enough to punch in. So I'm going to need a decided break. Now, obviously, by waiting for a clear break, you get a less desirable price. I'm okay with that. That's a trade-off I'm willing to make, okay? So I'm going to continue to watch here. I do like this chart pattern on QMCO, looking awfully bull-pennant-ish, but I need the setup to be the right way. Now, I'm continuing to watch AGMH. I haven't wet the beak at all. Over here, we got 1546 on. We're showing 1580s. I see higher lows. Okay, now that's by no means, definitive that this is going to break out, but I see higher lows on these 5-minute candles, successively higher than their predecessors. But I'm also alive to the fact that there's a seller between the $0.25 to the $0.50, and here comes the $0.25 again, and we're unable to shake that same seller who keeps selling up a storm at the $0.25 to $0.50. Every time we get there, maybe 1630, 1635, 1625, boom. Met with some selling. So we'll continue to watch. I've got my beak wetter here near the 50 penny area, but look at that. It makes a move into the $0.25, and as aggressively as it moved up, equally as aggressively as how it moves down. And look at it, losing the bid here. So right into the 10 EMA. Are they looking to stop hunt? What's the situation? So the shorts, I feel, are in control right now on AGMH, at least for the moment, even though we're still above the 10 EMA. The shorts seem to be defending that 16.25 like a glove. So continue to watch this one. It's still above the 10 EMA, and I'm still going to hold this one, Joey.
Nice, good look there, guys. All right, so we got all out of the Ethereum trade. That was nice. We're at the highest point to take out a page out of Katina Mann's book at the best point of the day. We were a little bit underwater, but that's okay. We got the pop. If we come back to the break even, we're out of that. Let's take a look at some other things here and see what we got cooking up here. We'll do a little quick trade review after as well. I've only been trading these two crypto names. From a stock scanner standpoint, AGMH, there you go, $15 right there. Open up at $6. You trade all the way up to $18. That's insane. Adara, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I forgot to specify. We're going to go over crypto right now because it is 11:30, and that is when we do our crypto segment. And I want to start by talking about the latest crypto treasury play. This one's actually a penny stock, or at least it was as of this morning. Shija Motor Company. What they're doing here is they're appointing Jason Miller, who apparently has over 2 decades worth of experience in blockchain and emerging digital technologies. Anyways, he's going to be their new chief operating officer. Now, the goal here with hiring Jason Miller is that he's going to help the company build towards what they're calling their digital currency treasury transformation. To put it simply, they're trying to implement the digital treasury strategy or the crypto treasury strategy specifically. They want to work in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That'll start at the end of this year, so in Q4 2025. They're looking to add Solana as well. So crypto treasury strategy actually pretty detailed here in terms of a plan coming from CJET. Now let's talk about Bitcoin. This is the 30-minute chart to get a little bit of a different view because we often look at the daily during this segment. Bit of a rounded top here for Bitcoin and some resistance at 118,000. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum looking very similar, but a little bit more directional with Ethereum. We know on the daily chart there is some support potentially around 42 halves. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. And last but not least, let's take a look at Solana here. Solana USD. Solana, which has actually been relatively strong. Let's switch to a daily chart compared to its peers. Still maintaining higher highs and higher lows on the daily chart, but struggling a little bit here, holding on to that 250. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to go back here with the Bash Brothers.
Sure, yeah, so that's what we got going on. Sharif, do you have anything you want to touch on? Or
I'm not really doing anything over here, but I just got into QMCO. It got into the volume weighted average price. So let's see if we can get the bottom range of this one and then head back into the high side. So picking up QMCO, we're long at 25s. Let's see if this one holds and then kind of breaks through the bull pennant. I'm all traded as a range as well if it gets back up into 60s and what the beak in and around there. But I'm keeping my eye on AGMH. Right now we've got 29's on. It's showing me 60, so we're taking some prints over here to the high side. Let's see if we can continue on this path with AGMH and reclaim that $16 area. That's what I'm looking at right now, Joey.
All right, brother. So yeah, let's go over a couple of the larger volume names as well, too. You can see AGMH has 167 million shares, INTC with 117 million, NVDA. Ooh, wow, this thing's starting to really, really move to the south side. And I was thinking about potentially taking a long on the TQs, but I don't think so, considering the momentum starting to pick up there in NVDA. Let's see what Tesla's up to. Gaurav, I know you said you were long at VWAP up here. Yeah, I think it's tough. I was looking at this thing on Blue Ocean last night. I didn't trade Blue Ocean. I was just watching. I love the fact that I can sit at my computer now past 8 o'clock and watch things move, aside from crypto. So that's fantastic. It was pretty liquid last night as well, too, Sharif.
I went on. I looked at it. Yeah, it was like 9 o'clock.
When you went on?
Something like that. Just to have a look, because you kept talking about old and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really. I looked at NVIDIA and Tesla. What were you on?
Tesla. I was looking Tesla and
it was late. It was like when I saw it was about 50,000 shares traded, but I was like a 9 something though.
Yeah, 9 a little later. So like again, even on the 1 minute, not as liquid obviously. 5 minute, not too bad. You can catch your fills on the higher time frame. Yesterday was not yesterday. 2 days ago was the more liquid one. Yeah, I know, Jag. I'm sorry, brother. This is how it is. I think there's really good opportunities. I found the price action being slightly more cleaner on that, so I'm going to continue to do so and trade and look at some names that are most definitely in play and continue on that path of trading Blue Ocean, because I think it's great opportunities. Amazon, not too bad. Some slight price action here, right? You have all these 5 minute candles overlapping each other. That's not a good time, in my opinion. I want to see these candles sitting on top at nice clean ebbs and flows, not this consistent overlapping range trading, I should say. And then look at Pfizer. Man, this thing sucks sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of the times. Breaking through this double top, going right towards that neckline, and may head towards $23 flat. That's going to be a bad time in Pfizer.
All right, man. We're still holding VERI. Shout out to 2 New York Cents telling me to look at this one. I'm looking at it. We're long, just a little bit below 5. We're having some trouble here, though, really clearing 5. So we'll keep tabs on that. And now I got stopped out of AGMH, but I got back in. We're taking prints on this one. We're at 50. Taken through 14. I'm looking at this prior area of resistance to hold at around 12 3/4, 13. So let's see what this one gives us as well. QMCO doing nothing. We're sitting there holding it at the volume weighted average price. If it loses the $0.75, we'll be out of this one. So that is what I'm looking at. But FATN returning possibly here to the high side. FATN is the ticker. Let's load this one up. There we go. Taking out VWAP right above 8 again. I would say the resistance level is at 850, despite the fact that the wicks go up into 927, because all the closing prints were a little bit below that 850 area. So that's what I'll be looking at on FATN. Continuation possibly above that 8.5. If it does it decisively, we'll get in, Joey.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got going. CLSK, I was talking about the options activity on this morning. It was real. The relative was there, right? So it's putting in a lot of volume, considering that it usually doesn't. Now, we can take a look at the 5 minutes. Oh, my God. Wow. All right. This is insane. We got to pull up the options chain. Look at yesterday's session, off to the races, and doing the exact same thing today. So you want to look for that relative strength. I might like CLSK for a potential long, getting the pops in those dip buys that we were referring to not too long ago there, Gaurav. So let's pull up the options chain on CLSK and see what we got cooking here. Okay, so nothing, like, this is what I'm talking about. So when I was showing you guys this morning, you had 30,000, 40,000, like some substantial amount. Now we're only seeing 8,000 here, 1,000 there, 3,000. So the RVOL isn't displayed as it was on yesterday's session, but still looking pretty good. I mean, 12 strike price still has 22,100, but not doing much volume. And it's the same thing with that $14 strike price. You have the open interest, but volume still relatively light, substantially larger than what we're seeing across the board. So keep that in mind. And what's SMR up to? Keep an eye out on this one. And again, we see more volume yesterday. Today being options expiration, not seeing that, but not a horrible look. What is the actual price action. Let's go to these at-the-money contracts here and pull it up and see if we've been appreciating in price. There goes Ethereum, Gorev. What a nice signal. Ooh, so selling. Okay, no, is this today? So not too bad, I guess. You are getting a little bit of a pop. They were worth not very much earlier in the morning, now worth $1.43, Sharif.
All right, guys. AGMH continuing to defend off that level. It's in the 14s now. Let's see if we can get above 14. We're taking prints on this one into 14 and a little bit above. So did spike up into 14 and a quarter, took some prints, but back down to 14 we go. I don't think that this one is for me. I see some higher lows on the micro time frame, but I'm seeing more lower highs. So I'm flattening this one out. I don't think this one has got the right setup. So we'll take this one and get out of Dodge. Now I'll focus on QMCO. This one is at the volume weighted average price. I have the level that I like, so I'm looking for it to hold up off here. Currently it is, but it's really slowed down in volume. It's done 4.25 million shares on the day. That was really earlier on. When you look at the volume profile, it's really down and to the right. So I am kind of concerned that this one's volume is drying up a little bit, but VERI continues to hang out near the high of the day at around 509, 512 is the high. But this one's volume is also dropping off. Like, I get it. It's Friday. It's quad witching day, so maybe everyone's waiting for the closing print to have that trade. But yeah, it's kind of been a lower volume day, at least from what I'm noticing. So that's what I'll keep my eye on. AGMH, you little punk. I can't believe you just put in a hammer candle or a doji candle like that. Now it's rocketing back up, Joey. Like this one, I just don't got to read on it. Sometimes when you don't got to read, you just got to tell yourself that and let that one go. Because I figured I had this one at a good price, and I did, but I didn't believe in it. And here it comes, 14.5, possibly up into 15. There is resistance at 14.5, though, from this prior area trough over here. Okay, so now we're doing okay on QMCO into 40s. We've got 25, so let's wet the beak here on QMCO, and I'm going to set up some at 45 as well and some near 50. So QMCO holding trend, higher lows as well as the volume weighted average price, but we are still suffering from that same affliction. The lower highs are still in play. We need that trend to break, obviously, for a nice big move to the upside. Back to AGMH, as I'm seeing this one test that 50 penny area again, and it's still rejecting that 50 penny area. So I don't think we're done the selling here. I'm gonna have to be patient on that one for it to set up. And then VERI is just doing its thing, not much there. If you guys have any new small cap gappers that have made their way onto the scene, I'd love to know about them. Tag myself or Joe, let us know exactly what you're looking at there. What I'm looking at is my top screen over here where I have my scanner, just to see if there's any new ones that I like. There's QUBX as well, but that's not a small cap gapper. Looking at some others, these are all really low volume ones, so nothing doing there. VERI I already know about. INDP has only done 410,000 shares. I need a little bit more. LWLG, there we go. Now, this is a holdover from yesterday, so this is not bad. Okay, let's load up LWLG here, but let me take a quick couple of prints. Oh, baby, on VERI, as this one is taking out the highs into 20. Good look here for VERI, but let's load up LWLG because that one is also at the day high. So, we got to take more prints here, Joey Options. Let's go. All right, get the hell out of my way, AGMH, you little punk. LWLG on the NQ. This one was a good one to us yesterday. We had a bunch of prints on this one, and there it is, up another 15.5% today at the day high as we speak, at a little above the $0.25. So keep your eye on this one, but I'm keeping my eye on this one over here. VERI continues to come up, 525 now high a day. Show me 24s. Let's wet the beak over here, and now we're going to wait at 26s for a breach of the day high. But VERI looking really good here for a small cap gapper. Good continuation and good respect for technical levels. Up 25%, Joseph.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know, Gorev, man. That's just how it works sometimes, brother. Like, this is the thing, right? We're keeping it. It's like, boom, signal right there. Signal there across the board. Oh, what, another one here. We go down to the 1 minute. We don't see anything necessarily that distinctive on Bitcoin, but there it goes. This is where you want to look for, Los Polios. Way to grab that one out. I know you're looking at the 5 minute, but the detail in the one is there. Hammer candle, we like that one. 1 minute. even better, and it's going to help with the precision of your entry. Isolated signature, hammer candle at the lows, doesn't even go through 50% of the wick. That's extremely bullish. We like that one, and then boom, you're getting that pop. You get in at the break of that high of at the open of that 1 minute, and then sure enough, what is that, 156.23? You're trading 50 cents higher. And there it is. There goes Ethereum, that bounce off of the lows. So we got out a little bit early. Got to leave those runners to run. But again, we'll be thankful for what it is. Bitcoin, bang, we get that pop. I mean, we haven't even taken a loss on Bitcoin today, which isn't horrible. Small scalp, that was a mistake. We went short there, got out of it right away. Small scalp right there. This was the better one of the morning. And then with ETH-A, it took us 2 attempts, so I'm still slightly red on this name here.
All right, Joey, no worries. Let me show you make it back. All right, continuing to watch VERI, but we've got a new one over here, as I mentioned, LWLG. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. Now, it is a little extended, to be fair. We're getting into that 4 1/3, very close. We're at 430 right now. So I don't want to punch in at these levels, but the 10 EMA showed me around 415 or so. So that could be an interesting area. But I also want to bring back your attention to AGMH because it's taking out that level. And here we go, it looks like. We could be breaking out here on AGMH. Doji candle preceding, and this is the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, but this could be a bull trap here. So be careful. I've seen this story before where, you see a doji candle in a downtrend, then a new candle makes a new high. All of a sudden, the selling becomes super aggressive as the shorts have lured us in, and that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Coming into 15, and look at it drop right back down to 14. It's going to lose 14, it looks like, over here. So, yeah, that's why I didn't want to punch in. But, yeah, experience, man. Maybe this one actually ends up running. Let's wait and see. It's got a higher low still, believe it or not. There's so much bamboozlement, Joseph. My goodness.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Anyway, so those are the two that I'm looking at. I'm in QMCO, I'm in VRI, I'm looking at getting in possibly into LWLG, but it's extended. It keeps taking out levels, 434 high now. I think I'm going to have to take AGMH off my screen, Joseph, because every time I look at it, it's trying to lure me into a trade, and I don't want to be trading this.
Get rid of it then.
Get rid of it. Straight to, look at it.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I mean. Okay, I need to explain this.
Yeah,
okay?
Go ahead, man.
So let's zoom in on the black chart. So here's what I was saying. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Oh, we come into a very important area at this area, this 1320. Why? Because that's the topping tail. So a former area of resistance becomes support. And on top of that, you get a doji candle, which is possibly a reversal candle. It can mean a candle of indecision as well. And then you make the first 5-minute candle to make a new high on a closing basis. So you're like, okay, great. Trend change, bouncing off a key area of technical support. Doji candle, first 5-minute candle make a new high. You get slapped all the way back down. I've seen this story before, so let's wait for the trend to break, which is this this lower trend line, this downward trend line over here. I won't be getting into this one. I don't think that I got the right read on it, Joey, and that's okay. You don't have to have a read on all of them.
No, yeah, exactly. If we could get the right read on all of them, man, boy, oh boy, we'd be Monaco or going to F1 over there. Yeah. I could go see what's going on over there. Yeah, Monaco.
Yeah, so that's your vibe, eh?
Monaco?
Yeah, that just slipped out like that, but that's your vibe, huh?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just asking.
Yeah. What's your vibe?
What's my vibe? Beach.
There's beach there.
It's Pebble Beaches,
it's Pebble
bro.
Beaches. Yeah, it's Pebble Beach.
The northern side of the Mediterranean, not as nice. Not as nice.
Yeah,
you got to go to the southern side.
That's what we were talking about, the west and the east coast, the nicer beaches, I think, on the east coast as well, too. Like Cuba, obviously, some of the nicest beaches on the planet.
Like Spain, beautiful, obviously, but their beaches not that nice.
Yeah, the beaches aren't that nice. Yeah, lots of rocks over there. Snow peso is the vibe, says Chase the Pack. Yeah, brother, hey, you got nothing wrong with a couple snow pesos, man. They'll get you around for sure. I mean, you can do a lot of, not anymore, but you used to be able to do a lot of things with them. IONQ, looking pretty good. Look at this space can't stop, won't stop over here. Bull flag X pattern. And look, if you get the lower end of the range, boom, look at the pops you're getting in the quantum space. This is absolutely insane. Man, you got to get involved in this, but it's like, how much further can we chase it? All the way up here. Is that a new all-time high? I think, is it? What's that 21 that we got there? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not even close, man. Wow. This is fantastic stuff. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. All right, that's it. So it didn't want us to show you the weekly on that one. But Quantum Space, completely in play, guys. Keep your eyes out on that one. Hammers across the board. We like seeing that. Let's go through a scroll through our top volume names once again and see if we see anything either at an extreme high or an extreme low so we can get involved in some of these names. I mean, the market continuously bouncing. What's Palantir up to? Oh, my days. There's a nice one right there. WB Day. Yeah, oh, my days, mate. Tesla, what's that up to? I don't love Tesla today, Gorev. I was watching it on, Shreve was watching it, I was watching it on Blue Ocean last night. SoFi might not be too bad. You want to see how that 5-minute hammer candle closes. Soundhound, what's BM&R been up to?
What is it up to?
Wow, okay, so it's not even really, it's like disregarding everything that Ethereum's essentially been doing and just going on its own merry way. Look at all the indecision at those lows right there, Shreve.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. So PSLV, let's see what this one's up to. Not as liquid, keep that in mind. Now, Oklo, see you later. We'll take a look at this one. Yeah, no, whenever you're ready.
I'm good to go.
Okay, cool. At Oklo, big time breakout. SMR, guess what? Big time breakout.
Oh, is that? Yeah, well, they're all going.
Yeah, look at Oklo.
Quantum and nuclear names today, right? They're really going.
Look at this thing. Look at Oklo on the day, brother. Look at Oklo on the day.
It's ridiculous. Once the breakout is there, it's there. Oklo, SMR. You messaged me this on Monday.
Yeah.
So that was the Monday breakout through that area high. Is that not correct?
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow.
There you go, right? Yeah, it's 5 days in a row. I should have punched in that day you sent me, bro. It was a sign, man.
50%. We should have just done it, man.
So this guy, he was on Katina's desk on Monday, and then he wanted to write a couple of tickers down, but instead of writing it on a note, like, you know, he messages me it. So I'm like, okay, what's Joey messaging? Looking at, these are great names. I pull them up. They're fantastic. They're up on the day. I'm like, I thought he's messaging me something to get into. He's like, no. I just needed a little note-taking tool. But I'm telling you, it was a sign because that's a big boy breakout.
Next time I do that, man, we just got to punch it and just...
next time you do that, I'm punching immediately. I don't care if it's a small cap gapper or what. No, I'm playing. I exaggerate for effect. Joey, VERI continues to trend up, guys. Good-looking name, 25%. Not really a bamboozler. I should be careful what I say because I'll say that and then it'll drop. But for the most part, it's been a consistent stair step of higher highs and higher lows. You're not getting wicking candles getting you in, getting you out, and that sort of nonsense that we kind of don't like the small cap gappers for. But here we go. It's another high of day. Joseph options into the high there. Let's wet the beak at the high, 527 high. It continues to stair step up. We're going to take a little bit at a time so we can continue to wet the beak. But there goes QMCO as well, right up to the high. We got 1125. It's showing me 50. Good look there. Shout out to the spiled one. I just got his message. Milk, eggs, bread, send sketchy super chat. Love it, love it. I'm going to punch into all of those. I can do it. We can punch into commodities, right? Futures. I'm going to punch into all of those, Big Spile. No, I am kidding, of course. But we're going to keep an eye on QMCO over here as it gets to the higher end of the range. We're still putting in lower highs as, you know, denoted by this downtrend, but that doesn't mean we're going to do that forever. So I'm going to look for that breakout, and I want to participate in that breakout if possible. LWLG, I was talking about that one. I haven't punched into it yet, and there it is, about 10 cents higher, maybe a little bit more than when I was looking at it last. It was a little bit below 30. Now the high of the day is 40. So good look. And last one I want to bring your attention to. Hangry Wife. I'm going to go look at your message in 1 second. I just want to show UMAC. UMAC is putting in one hell of a bull flag over here. It's got a range off which you can trade it. So I'm going to say 12 1/3 to the downside or 12 1/4 to the low side of the range, and then basically 12 2/3 to the high side. I'd pick it up at the whatever lower end I could for number one. At worst, a range trade. At best, a breakout through the higher end of the bull flag consolidation and maybe a move into 13. So UMAC looking good, 13.5%. Not too expensive, about $12 1/3, something that you can size substantially into if that's your thing. No, not financial advice. There goes VRI again, Joey, into another high, 529 high. Good look right now on VRI as it trends up.
All right, man, trend up. We like that. AMD, wow, Los Polios, man. Way to crush this one. Oh, wow. Yeah, that one's continuing to climb. 156.24. Now you're at 156.85. You'll take that all day, every day. And then also, as for the TQs, miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Gorev, unfortunately, that's the name of the game. But we'll take it. We'll be happy with what we got for now. Green on the day. We're looking for some other opportunities. There's a couple good ones there in the likes of Ethereum. Who does this stock think it is right now? This is crazy. Like, my days, like this is just consistent. Like, look at this. We got to go to a higher time frame here to break this down. It's just ever since September 12th, boom, just completely off to the races. Man, fantastic stuff in this quantum space. It's what you want to see, man. A rotation into some new tech, and I really like this. So we got to get more involved in this. And I'm not going to chase it all the way up here. Hold on, what's Rich Tech Robotics up to? I better start buying this name, Sharif, before it's too late. And this thing, next thing you know, Rich Tech Robotics is $30 or something along those lines. And I'm sitting over here
selling crack.
Well,
I don't want to be doing any of that, but you know, I like the song,
any of
right?
that, man.
Throw some D's on it.
Sean,
Throw some D's on it. Song? Oh geez, I forget.
But yeah,
something Mike.
Is it? Yeah, I have no idea.
Neil, who sings that, man? Throw them D's on it. Rich boy selling crack. All them haters want to check.
Dara knows.
I don't know if she can hear me. She can't hear me, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
I forgot. The chat will know me. Rich boy.
Yeah, Rich boy.
Hey.
Rich boy. Okay, all right. His name is actually Rich.
Well, yeah, he said his name in the dang song. Rich boy selling.
Well, I thought he was just calling himself a rich boy.
Yeah. I should have known too, but I'm kind of stupid, so it's all good.
You're far from it. $3 at break. Now you're trading almost at $5. Man, oh man, not going to chase it up here, but maybe we get involved in some rich tech.
I love you guys, man. You guys in the chat, I love it. Immediate, straight to jail. You got anything wrong. No, I'm saying it. Guys, QMCO is doing okay, man. It's not too bad here. We're at the top end of the range again. I don't know if we're really getting that decided breakout from that lower trend line, but it certainly looks like we are. So I'm going to continue to wet the beak here at some good levels. Let's throw some orders, guys, in the 80s. We'll throw in a bit of a larger order there, and then we'll throw in another larger order towards 88s as well. You never really know whether the trend is broken because your trend line is subjective, right? Someone may have drawn it one way, you've drawn it a different way, so the shorts may be looking at something a little bit differently than I. So we're doing okay on it. We've got the quarter dollar at 11.25 exactly on QMCO. It's showing me 68, so not a bad look. I also want to bring your attention to VERI. We took a whole bunch of scalps into that 30 penny area. It's a 529 high, but we're getting a little bit of a downturn now, not too bad. But yeah, it's looking good here. Now, I got to tell you, what's my plan if this thing turns around, right? I'm long 497 on VERI, but I don't think that gets me out of the trade. I don't think that I'm going to be putting my stop at that level. In fact, I'm going to be looking to add. So I'm going to be adding on moves into the 10 EMA. The 10 EMA currently on my chart's around 511, 512. We're showing 523s right now. So I'd like to pick up some more. And if it does move down into the 10 EMA, wherever the 10 EMA may be, if it moves down into that level, I'll be picking up a little bit more on VERI. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to Adara.
On NYT, the New York Times, bit of relative volume spiking into this one. Volume on the day is still kind of low. It's about 600,000 shares. Either way, the U.S. judge has denied Donald Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times, but it has allowed an amended filing. So NYT popping, this lawsuit that Donald Trump tried to make here for $15 billion has been denied, though an amended filing will be allowed. Back to you.
I want to know how he's justifying the damages of $15 billion.
Right?
Because he can seek punitive damages, Adara, or what they call exemplary damages to teach them a lesson. But what kind of lesson are you teaching someone with $15 billion?
That's not a lesson. That's like
that's an ass whooping.
Don't look at me or I will sue you. That's a lesson of 15 bill.
That's a little bit too much for me. But like, hey, man, Americans are quite litigious. Canadians not as litigious as Americans. That's not a strict rule. I think we are becoming a bit more litigious. And I want to say why. Because, I don't know, growing up, I saw no lawyer commercials on TV for personal injuries, the ambulance chasing that they are. But the point of the matter is we're seeing a ton of them now.
Well, we always know
that's got to reflect in the culture.
We always had a hurt in the car, call William Mattar.
But that's Buffalo, my boy. That's Buffalo.
That's Buffalo.
Right, I remember the guy hurt in the car, call William Mattar. 444-4444.
No, in all Yeah, it's funny. I'm pretty sure my grandma told me this story a while ago. My great grandfather's dog bit someone in the United States, obviously being from here.
Straight to jail.
Like
that's
right
money
away,
immediately.
Right away. Yeah.
And the quantums that they give, the amount of money that they give in decisions, way higher than we get here. Way higher. It's just the way it is, bro.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, if I ever accidentally get hit by a vehicle or anything like that, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I remember one of these memes that I saw. It was like for divorce lawyers. Like the name of the partners on the door were Screw 'em Good and Hard.
No.
But it was written in a way where like those were actually last name. It's HARDT, not Hard. And
hard.
Good, obviously, like Ben Good or whatever, right? Anyway,
that's
good vibes. Derek threw a funny one in the chat as well. Don G. Dangler. It means that the only people who can get away with criticizing him is a liquid billionaire. Just the way he wants it. Yeah, look, man, he's been litigious all his life, though. For as long as I've been following this guy, whether it was in the 80s, yes, I am that old, 90s, 2000s, he's been suing up a storm. So that's just, I think, part and parcel of being Donald Trump and his character. So I don't think he's going to change at this age either, man. He's born in 49. That's the same age as my mom Dukes. So that's not, they're not changing. He's not changing. And my mom Dukes isn't changing either, bro. Oh, you got to... Trying to convince my parents of something new is an impossibility.
Yeah, there you go,
impossibility.
Man. Yeah, at least you know. At least you're self-aware. At least you're self-aware, and you don't have to bother them.
All right, Joey.
Yes, sir.
Let's just review the trades, and we're going to send it over to Adair for happening now, and Neil's lesson of the day. QMCO continuing to zig and zag. I don't think it's broken trend yet, but I'm going to continue into this one. And last but not least, the only other trade that I have is VERI, topping out right now at 529. Coming into the 10 EMA, I will add into the 10 EMA if it does make it down there. Joey, you want anything to cover before we go over?
No.
All right. Adair is happening now right that way.
This happening now is going to be a little bit of a Fed recap because we had really interesting and vastly different comments coming from two Fed members this morning. So before we get to Neil Roberts and his lesson of the day, let's talk about Neil Kashkari, who made some comments this morning. I apologize for the photo. It's the first photo of him that comes up when you Google him. But either way, he said that he actually supports the Fed's decision to cut rates by 25 basis points earlier this week. He did talk about these employment risks, which a lot of Feds have talked about, which could require some intervention from the Fed. But he did say he actually did support pausing rate cuts if the economy remains strong, and then actually saying that the Fed could hike rates if that's needed by the economy. He wasn't advocating for that right away, mind you, but he's saying that the point I think really that you can summarize from Kashkari's speech this morning, which came before the bell, was that you really have to wait and see what the economy is telling you, and you have to be open to any scenario. That was decidedly not the conclusion that you necessarily came to listening to remarks from Fed's Myron, Stephen Myron, also sometimes referred to as Moran. This was his first interview, I believe, since he's been confirmed to the Fed. That was CNBC this morning, though he will make more comments on Friday or later today at 4 p.m. He talked about his dissenting vote. He was the only Fed member who voted for that 50 basis point cut. Not only did he say that he stands by that vote, he said he'll explain it further in a speech on Monday and added that he's actually hoping that the rest of the Fed will be able to be persuaded by him. He did use the word persuade as well. And then furthermore, he said that he thinks they could continue cutting rates by 50 basis points throughout the cycle. So really interesting stuff. We have one Fed that comes off hawkish to cautious, and the other one who comes out straight dovish. Interesting stuff. If I get any more from any other Feds, I'll let you know. One other thing, too, was that Fed's Myron said that his first Fed meeting was very peaceful, everyone was very civilized, and that things were really chill, even with Fed's cook, who we know is embroiled in some legal battles involving President Trump, who, of course, Myron did work for the White House in that administration. Lots of Fed talk on watch, of course, and we're going to send you over to Neil and his lesson of the day. Not Neil Kashkari, Neil Roberts. So without further ado, Neil, take it away.
Thank you, Derek, for the intro and for not doing me dirty. that Kashkari picture was hilarious. I don't know, for some reason, that was like the funniest picture I've, like, I don't even know why, but anyways, look, you'll hear traders say this all the time, investors, whatever, the closing, we care more about the close than we do the closing print than the opening print. And there's a reason for that. That late money, that important money, at the end of the day, the money that's cool with holding it overnight and not getting in and out during the day, that's what transacts at the close. So you got to be staying in tune to where those close prices are and how they can be useful. Because sometimes it's as simple as, well, if something is an upward trend, just observe the price action when it's trying to go red or green. Look at these quantum names here today. Now, I'll talk about Palantir, which we did get, and I'll always talk about something we didn't get, just to sort of prove that there's opportunities like this regardless. Look, you see Rigetti, that's not bad. It's a pretty good upward trend. Let's look at the daily chart. That's a pretty good upward trend. But unless you were really, really sneaky looking at that daily chart, you might miss the key. Now look right here, right before the open. This is before the open. This wick is $24.74. And then we open, and the close of the first candle going into 9:30, this is actually a 9:27 candle to 24.74. And then the open is just above, I have the open as 78, but it doesn't really matter. It's right in that same 75 range. Now, why does that price matter? What do you think we closed at yesterday on Rigetti? 24.74. So it spent the entire morning consolidating right underneath and then immediately resisting the prior close, then breaking out. And then from there, it was just pure continuation play once it was green. I think if you're waiting for the VWAP trade in the middle of the day, it was more about the higher. It was really just more about the prior high. Like, it doesn't really give you a clean VWAP trade, it gives you the clean prior high trade. But the important thing is the continuation was signaled right away at that prior close price. Important right before the open, twice. And then it never looked back. Whenever people talk about, when I say an over-under type of number, over-under this price at the open, just means trend away from that price. And the closing price the prior day can really give you the goods. Now then, another obvious one, Palantir, we looked for continuation in Palantir. Very similar play. This one closed essentially at 177 even, a couple of pennies underneath it. So it's a bit random. It's not the high of the day. You can make an argument about the prior high as well, and I'll get to that. But right at the open, just like Rigetti, you're showing resistance right underneath that 177 at the open. So it's holding underneath, barely red, when it was a huge reversal 2 days ago. It was a strong upward trend. It's not necessarily a clean breakout trade. It was the big reversal 2 days ago. There's your long. If you're looking for continuation, you're like, where am I supposed to get into this thing? It's red, 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 but instantly off the open shows you green over 177. And then at the open, it opens pretty much at that price, just over 177 in the green. All systems go. Now, where do you participate in this one? I would argue it gave you VWAP, but the other way that you could have maybe been early, not my cup of tea, the prior day high had one little dip in the prior day high after the opening print and then rallied, and then continuation off VWAP. What this gives you is an instant bias right away. Not, oh, well, how's it trending? What does it look like after 15 minutes? Let's pick it up an hour later at VWAP, or in this case, like 2 hours later at VWAP. No, pretty much right away at the open, you've got yourself your trend direction, and you're now instantly biased. And if you can find something that snags you earlier longs than I would find, fantastic. But it all keys off that instant reaction once the stock had gone green on the session. Throw in the fact that it's a witching day, so there's a little more volatility at the open. That's going to give you a plus as well. But key in, if you're looking for a stock, it doesn't have obvious levels, sometimes just the closing price is going to be all you need, especially if it was in play the day before. If it's been in play that day before, the prior few sessions, then that closing price is always going to be key. So you can key in on that when you don't have massive levels to look for. So there is your lesson of the day. Hope it helps you. Good luck. This market is an absolute beast today.
You'll appreciate that. I know it was muted. Thank you, Assassino. I knew you were going to tell me, but I caught it. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Adara, for that. So we're continuing to watch here, guys. Let's talk about the ones we're watching. VERI coming into that 530 again, really hanging out towards the highs. I've got my profit taker a little bit above that level, but it's really been a good trade here on QMCO. Yeah, QMCO, a quantum name, up a respectable 38.5%, looking for more. It certainly got resistance at 12, and I won't be convinced otherwise. I get that the high of the day is 1230, but no closing print on the day, on the 5-minute candle that is, has closed above 12. So I know that the sellers are selling up a storm into that level. My thinking here was to pick it up at the lower end of the range because I perceived a range off VWAP, which is around 11.25, and then basically 1180 to 12 with that as a resistance. So I'm happy with how I executed on this one, but I'm still a little bit greedy. Even though I'm in the sim, I'm looking for more. I want that break at 12 and then possibly into that 12.25. So we'll see what we get on this one, Joey, but I'm packing my patience. I don't want to take out too much too quickly. Let's see if we can get that bull flag, bull pennant, whatever bull, continuation to the high side. Local BREA 007. I love that name. Bravo. Thoughts on PNG? Happy Aloha Fridays. Are you from?
Where are you from?
You're from Hawaii,
Yeah,
right?
where are you from, man?
Oh, bro. Let me tell you, that was the last vacation. Well, that was the second last vacation I went on, Joey. July 2023, I went to Honolulu for 10 days.
How was it?
Insane. Insane, but very, very expensive. Because it's an island, Starbucks, 1.5 times the price. Convenience store, 2 times the price. If you're going everywhere, you're getting rinsed. And then you go on the beach, you rinse off.
And it's USD, too.
And it's USD.
So it's like...
And the Canadian peso was weaker at that time, too. That was 2023.
Snow peso just not going anywhere.
Let's look at PNG for our boy. Oh,
you got something there?
Yeah, well, he wants us to look at that. That's
that's
the super.
Chat? All right.
Yeah, this is really good. Nothing bad to say. Kraken Robotics. Not exactly a small cap gapper. It's 1 1/3 billion, but yeah, it's a robotics company. Canada-based. Yeah, Canada-based marine technology company providing complex subsea sensors, batteries, and robotic systems. I love it. I love it. It's a good look on the day. I don't see a headline on it, though, so this is probably a sympathy play with maybe other robotics companies that are moving. Why am I on the venture, bro? PNG. Hold on here, Joey. Oh, this is Canadian on the venture.
Yeah,
Local BREA. Are you talking about the one on the venture exchange? Because that's the one I'm loading up. You don't have to super chat again. Just tag me, okay? But either way, this is a good looking company over here. I don't mind this. What is the daily on this, Joey? I might want to punch here. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell is right? Okay, let's go. From the time I was in Hawaii, Joseph, till now, this thing is up 1,300%.
Oh man, you could have
punching.
You could.
I'm taking somebody's book over here. It's my book now.
Just DM me the sticker on.
Shut up, bro. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. What a guy. PNG like the picture, right? Aren't like picture formats like JPEG, PNG, right?
Maybe, sure.
PNG on the venture exchange, Joey. Your boy's gonna punch over here. This is a nice little 10-bagger that we can get. Yeah, thank you for that. What's it called? Local BREA. Just tag me again though, because you didn't tag me. I need to know if this is the same one. Jose, thoughts on Nike? You want to give Jose a look at Nike, brother?
Yeah. So Don G, if you can get the electronic desk or whatever it is, so you can sit down when you want and then you can stand up when you want as well too. I think that's the route I would have probably took. Man, What is it, the FOMO is so real on this. It's not even funny, man. What am I doing? Someone told me to diamond hands too, and I'm like, I don't know about that. And then sure enough, like, this is the move that we were looking for, man. Why do I do certain things? All right. NKE. Let's take a look at. Okay, so we're gonna go to Adair in 1 second. Got to take care of this super chat. Sorry, there it is. Nike big time gap down, starting to curl back over here. Daily. Not too good of luck punching through necklines. Adair, what do you got?
Breaking news here on TikTok. I'm seeing that ByteDance is going to be allowing TikTok to continue to serve U.S. users. Again, it's unclear the capacity, but we know that based on the comments Donald Trump made after this meeting with Xi, and based on Xi's comments, they seem to have slightly different understandings of how things are going with TikTok. Right now, I'm hearing that ByteDance will continue to allow TikTok to serve U.S. users. Again, unclear how they're going to do that, what the structure of that is, or if it's going to be the normal deal. As I get more details, I will let you know. Back to you.
Oh, my back.
Oh, man.
Dude. Sorry. All right. It's okay. Thanks, Fabian. That looks really good, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah. Oh, it's all really good. 1343. Yep. QMC 11.25. There it is. My positions are live. Thank you, Fabian. Killing it again, as always. The Chilean Nightmare. basically keeping this place afloat. You know what I mean? Like the dude is, let me just tell you, he's multi-talented.
Very much so.
Yeah, you want to look at Nike for your boy?
Yeah, we just
You did.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
So let's have a look here. Guys, AGMH, we're back into this one, looking for another move up. We got 43s on. We just went the beak at 14, so let's see how that one works. QMCO, though, rejecting that range again at $12. So this one, yeah, we're going to have to add into this one back in 11 1/4. We still got a nice position on, so we can take out some more over here. And then VERI, I said I would add into the 10 EMA. I didn't have a resting order, but let's see if we can get in a little bit right now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to add into the 10 EMA for another possible move up. Let's go back to AGMH, though, because it looks like it wants to take out $14, excuse me. It's got multiple bottoming tail candles into that level, looking to curl back up. I also want to look at another one that's halted at the moment, ATMV. Pardon me. Here's the 5. So this was doing all sorts of volume or all sorts of movement here in the pre-market, and it's halted again to the upside. This is very dangerous, though, guys. So I really want to stress again. I don't want to say against, but be very careful, okay? It's not doing a whole lot of volume. On the day, this thing's done 640,000, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 up halts. They're all up halts above VWAP, but it's very illiquid, and I'm willing to bet it's pretty spready. Hard to know until it opens back up, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that one, Joey.
All right, cool. Chase the packs. I know, brother. I should have listened to you, but again, I'm still sitting in my contracts and my everything. I'm still sitting in everything from my swing account. It's just the intraday trading. I should have listened to you and held on to more things because the signals were there. Now, as for our good friend from Melbourne, Australia, the product detective. Hey, can you take a look at NBIS? Absolutely. And then we're going to go over the super chat momentarily.
Crazy.
Thank you very much for that. Looking pretty good here from an intraday standpoint. You get this consolidation, liquidity grabs, but holds the opening wick low almost to the penny, and then hammer candle off to the races. The product detective, you know this is exactly what we're looking for, so not a horrible look there. And there you go, you continue to climb. Let's head out to the daily. Oh my days, big time gap up. There it is. So this is when it first started trading in October of 24. What the heliante? Yeah, what is that? Hopefully you've been holding this 541%. There's almost your 10 bagger right there. Pretty good look. Now, as for our good friend Rusty Dutch, another big crypto advocate. I can tell by our conversations within the chat. Thank you for the solid week, another solid week. Thank you guys. No, thank you for that. Much appreciated on this Friday. So let's continue this grind. I'm feeling the FOMO to the fullest here on those TQs trade. Got it again. I talk about it all the time. Sometimes you just gotta stop saying things and do what you say, Joseph, and take the trade, because the feeling of me not being in here is substantially worse than me not getting stopped out. Almost at a new all-time high in the TQs. Beautiful look, hammer candle, and then essentially doesn't even pull back. Look at the shallowness of these pullbacks here. Boom, 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 all the way to the top side. The TQ streak, now $102. Him and I were talking about this yesterday. I remember this thing being $30, $40,
yeah,
$50, and there it goes, another high right there. And I think that's going to be the all-time high for it right there.
Yeah, but you know what, Joey?
Yes, sir.
So if I was to tell you right now, the NDX, so we're talking, when we say NDX, Joey, we're talking about the Nasdaq 100, right?
Yeah.
So let's just pull it up on the chart over here, because I think you'll be surprised as to where we were on the NDX during the April lows. Okay. Because given where we are right now, let's load it up. Index. Here it is, Joey.
Do I want to be this surprised, though?
I'd like to be.
Oh, no.
Hold on, Joey. Okay, my man. The April lows, Joey, we're at 16,500, okay? Yeah. We're at 24,500. That was April. Yeah. That's this year. Pausing, going to Adair for breaking news.
Crazy.
Great news for Swifties and AMC Apes. Taylor Swift did confirm that rumor we had earlier that she is going to be inviting her fans to, and I quote, a dazzling soiree. So there will be the official release party of her new album, Party of a Showgirl or something. That'll be October 3rd to 5th. It will only be in cinemas. Apparently this partnership is with AMC. So Taylor Swift here with this release party that she has going on with AMC October 3rd to 5th. This rumor sent the stock to the upside earlier this morning. Now we're getting further pop on confirmation from Taylor Swift herself. And back to you.
Album Madeira?
No. No, never. I don't even think my dad pre-ordered this one this time. And yes,
even Perry?
Pardon?
Perry's not picking it up?
I think he's done with her. I don't think he had her last album either. Like he had like straight 8 or 9 back to back. He pre-ordered one of them, and then the last. I think maybe he's not.
That's okay.
Anymore.
We all go through phases. So yeah. Do you like her music? Honest.
No.
I don't like her music.
No.
Either. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 songs that I like, but that's it. I don't find her to be. Like her music does not attract me.
Yeah. I mean, the only song that I really know from her is "Shake It Off." I think.
Shake it off.
And even to me,
I didn't even know.
And that would.
The album "When They Get Divorced" will be crazy.
Wow.
That's mean, Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian, man.
The Chilean Nightmare holding no punches. That's crazy. Pulling no punches.
You remember those? You know those English kids who stand in front of the camera and who are like. Some people wish on my downfall, and some of them are standing behind me.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. But that's jokes.
It's like with his friends, man.
No,
I forget what they call it. You told me what they do. Remember they just go in front of the camera and they say something ridiculous, and it's just like all the little kids just standing there acting hard.
The one that told you about this?
That's crazy. No, you said it's called something.
Oh,
yeah. But anyways, for those who know that one, Tesla sucks. There it is, Gorev. I knew when it headed up there. There's no indecision at that lows, so there it goes. But man, I'm just keeping my eyes on the TQs. I might have to switch up these charts because it's just the FOMO is so real. There is Ethereum starting to grind a little higher now. Let's see if you get buyers step in a little bit more aggressively. And the same thing with IBET. I'm going to be talking about the same names throughout the day. NBIS for our good guy, Beyond Control, pretty good.
Beta Pro by Global X is bringing back its annual biggest winner simulated ETF trading competition now with over $40,000 in cash prizes, including a $20,000 grand prize, and it's all risk-free, guys. It's free to enter and open to all Canadians. Trade with $100,000 in fantasy cash on the Webull platform. Whether you're an experienced trader or actually just getting started with trading, it's a chance to test strategies, build skills, and climb that leaderboard. So, you think you have what it takes to be the next biggest winner? If you do, sign up today. Shout out to the good folks there at Beta Pro by Global X. Yeah, good look. So let's talk a little bit about this AGMH trade. I did okay on it. We're back positive on it again. We took a nice dollar winner here off 13.5 to 14.5, but it's showing me lower highs and continuing that downtrend. Let me show you exactly why I felt that this was going to be the case, because we continue to kind of reject that downward trend over here. So I was like, nah, this is trying to catch a falling knife. I'm really trying to stretch this trade when it shouldn't be stretched. Now, if we can kind of change that above 15, that obviously changes the lower lows, lower highs. But if and until we clear 15, I think I'm going to stay away from this one. QMCO, still zigging and zagging at the 2/3 of a dollar. I'm going to wet the beak over here. And last but not least, we added into VERI, into the 10 EMA. It's trying to get right back into that area that we added to. So showing me 19s, I added at 22s. So let's see if this one can continue the uptrend. It's a 530 high right now on VERI. We're showing 20s. My next profit taker is at 33s or 32s. So that's the look. I completely forgot about LWLG, and this actually gave you an opportunity off 420, which was the 20 exponential moving average, and it is Friday, so shout out to 420, right? But 431 right now we're showing with a 440 high. So let's see if we can get back up there and start, trending in the right way. Not right way, to the upside. Last but not least, UMAC. I was telling you about this one looking awfully bull flaggish. It's coming back down, though, into an area of support. So I might be interested in picking this up. On UMAC, given that it's got a nice little range trade here. I'll trade it the same way I'm trading QMCO, which is basically buying it at the bottom end of the range, wetting my beak at the top end, and then I'll hold some for the possible breakout. So UMAC, I think I might work into that if the spread is reasonable. I haven't had an opportunity quite yet to view what the spread looks like. So let's maybe load it up and take a look right now, Joey Options. UMAC. Nope. On the Nasdaq, no. So it's an Amex stock. Amex, all right. There we go. Let's see what we got over here. What's the spread? 3 pennies, not bad. Volume's a little bit light. $12 name, 3.82 million shares. It's not too bad. 3 penny spread. Now let's give this one the old college try, man. We're gonna start with small share size and see if we can work in. But the spread is not letting me in, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit more aggressive with this one at 40s. Oh, that's not it, Joey. There we go. Wow, it's going away from me. There we go. We got it. So let's see what this one does. A stop is below 1220. Loses 1220, then it loses this level right here, and then I know my trade is wrong. So that's what I'm looking at. QMCO heading right back up though, baby. Here we go, showing 88s again. So we're gonna wet the beak over here and save a piece for the dream. I'm talking about that $12 break and take. This one is continuing to put in higher lows. I have a bias that this is a bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to talk about. I want to see this resolve above $12, and I've got an order right there to take advantage of that. So above 12.05, we've got that order. So let's see if QMCO wants to break the range.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I like what we got going on here. Gorev, you've almost convinced me here to try to take a long on Tesla as it punches through some key support levels, and I was starting to get a little bit of a bounce. Thank you for that. I mean, when Fabian was speaking in my ear, I'm like, what the hell was that? But anyways, NBIS, oh man, this market is insane. Come on, crypto space, just continue to climb higher. I was thinking about shorting the Qs, but I'm like, no, that's not a good idea whatsoever, in my opinion, considering that it just V-shaped reversal. Look at this V-shape here. Just right off of the boom, you sell off a little bit, bang, and see you later, wham, bam. Right there, whenever we're ready, Fabian, I know you give me a little bit of leeway there. I might get back to, yeah, all right, we ready? All right, man. Did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon, and you actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple of $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. This is how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off. There you go. Someone was asking about a funded account yesterday, and we were talking about Trade the Pool. So go check that one out there. What are the Qs up to? Oh, watch out for this hammer candle signal. I'm going to go down to the 1 minute and see if we got anything. Oh, my days. All right, we're going to have to try and get involved in this, Gore. We'll go small size considering we're having a pretty decent day, but I like this. Look at this volume print, inverted hammer right there. We get a little pullback. I wouldn't mind anything right at the close of this open on the 1 minute. Oh, I don't think it's going to give us the opportunity. So let's start relatively small, and then we'll add just a little bit just in case we do have to. I like our risk profile. It's only about 20 cents or so. So let's get involved in this name. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take there, Sharif.
You see your friend Apple?
Yeah, it's going nuts.
It's melting up, baby.
It's going.
Oh, baby. I want to see lines, baby. I want to see bear lines everywhere.
Bear lines.
People waiting for the iPhone. You know, I was telling my old man yesterday, I was like, yo, obviously I don't like punching in a $2,100 phone plus HST.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I like it as a shareholder because then, you know, other people are going to be buying that bad boy. We're at the high of the day right now, boys and girls. Apple. Now, let's find out how much we're off all-time highs. We are now about 6% off all-time highs, but that's the what's it called? The wick. Let's look at the closing print over here. So if we're at 5.5, yeah, not much of a difference. So AAPL up bigly here. Not bad. It's the strongest Mag 7 name on the day. I just want to verify that. Uber is not a Mag 7 name, but Uber's up a little bit more, 3.5%. Uber's going to take that $100 area quite soon. So that was a money buy off $60. Gave you guys that. There goes QMCO Joseph into 20s. This is the breakout. Here we go. This is the big boy breakout, 1230 high. We just glanced there in the high 90s. So let's go ahead and wait a little bit over here above that. So I'm going to wait in the third of a dollar. Let's wait at 35s. Oh, no, we're almost out of all the position over here, Joey. That's not the one. No. QMCO. Oh, no, we finished our trade on that one. Okay, well. We're out of shares, so it's okay.
All right.
QMCO, we're done that. We took out the break. Let's see if it comes back in. I'll pick it up again off the 10 EMA, which is showing me 1175 at the moment. UMAC, though, is not cooperating. Where's the UMAC, that piece of crap? Let's see if this one wants to hold off VWAP. 1220, the breach of 1220 gets me out of this trade. So let's see if UMAC wants to trend a little bit higher.
Oh, man.
Steve D'Agostino, I know I sound like a broken record, but neg squeezing 17% on the day. Brother, that is not news to me. I really hate looking at that because I feel all sorts of stupid for not punching into it. But yeah, NEGG, not NGG. NEGG, excuse me. Jeez Louise. Yeah, but look where it was. Oh my God. Yeah, look at that double top, Joey. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
You think it comes back to test that 85, 90 area breakdown? Look at that neckline.
Right now?
Look at that neckline right there.
Oh, I don't think anytime soon.
You don't think so? It's got a nice little...
Is this intraday or...
No, this is daily.
Yeah, oh no, brother, that's going to take some time. I'm not saying that it won't, but if you do, I think it's going to take a little
But look at that resistance level, prior area of resistance on August 8th, and then it comes into a triple bottom off 86, that previous area. I think it's destined to go back here. 86, 85. Oh. Look, man, it's a good look. Obviously, Newegg was a monster. We were trading this basically the entire summer. Or we've been calling it. Sorry, I barely took any trades on it. We've been calling it out the entire summer. So good luck, brother. Good luck.
Nice. Yeah,
what do you got, Joey?
So we hold on to it. There we go. All right. Same thing here, guys. Let's see if we can get this short to come in, man. We got the signal. It's displayed itself. So we're just trying to put probability in our favor, obviously. Got the volume, got the inverted hammer candle. Now we're looking for that breakdown back towards the volume weighted average price. I'm looking at Apple just continuously climb higher, and it's just slowly eroding my dreams here of getting that move back. There, yeah, exactly. This is how it works sometimes, brother. But nice move here, man. Again, it's not double top-esque, but it's relatively close. So yeah, we'll continue to monitor this. I would love for the crypto space, considering that Ethereum was in a waterfall this morning, and then now it's starting to bounce back towards the volume weighted average price. I would absolutely love it if it just decided to go parabolic over the weekend. Rivian Millionaire, I told you, you said all-time highs over the weekend, and I hold people accountable for their words. This is Sparta, all right? Just remember that we hold people accountable for their words, regardless if they are the messenger or not. So yeah, other than that, let's go over some volume names here. We can take a look at some of the other more liquid names on the options chain as well, too, to see what we got going on with Apple. We didn't really do that. Or did we? Apple and 245. Yeah, so I mean, there's quite a bit. It's starting to grow, right? So you can see that these numbers are starting to substantially grow. You have 168,000 contracts at that 245, 245 and a half. You have 250. Kaiser, see you later, brother. Have a good weekend, and come back on Monday with a better
attitude.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have a bad attitude. I mean,
that's a bad attitude.
I'm
you can
so
reverse
sorry.
it. Reverse it. Reverse it.
I did that. I don't know how to reverse it. Reverse.
Oh, you just deleted the message. That's okay.
No, but I put the wrong user in timeout.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know how to fix that one there. Before death, I'm sorry. Maybe I can give a mean to fix that for us, but I didn't mean to put you in timeout. There's no way I can reverse that one. So I'm sorry, Kaiser, you stopped, but considering I put the wrong person in timeout, you got to go in timeout.
Oh.
So before death, I apologize wholeheartedly, man. Hopefully, man or woman, don't get too upset with me. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, going back, pardon me? Yeah, but you can't say it a million times, Neil. We don't have that type of tolerance around here, brother. That's insane. 250,000 at 242. And then let's take a look at Tesla.
Oh, no.
What is it? Oh, what's happening?
Look at this.
What's happening?
Your boy, you know what your boy did, obviously, in this bad boy? Your friend Joby is breaking out. No.
For me, I timed them out. I timed them out for a full day.
Yo, Ram's busy right now, bro. She's busy.
Well, she just messaged me. She hit me up in my ear.
I'm
it's
being
before death.
Yeah. Of course, you know.
She's not that busy. All right.
Get it, Ram.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't hit me though, please. I'm brittle today.
He's just banning people.
Yeah,
I know. Joey's banning anybody, bro. He's
anybody.
Yeah, everybody can get it today from Joey.
Sharif, you know what they call us, right?
What'd they call us?
The Can Man.
Such a.
What is she doing?
Oh my God.
The Can Man.
The Can Man.
Yeah.
Why do they call us the Can?
Because anybody can get it.
Oh wow. Okay. I like that.
You know what I mean? You never heard when Adrian Broner said that? He's like Americans, Canadians.
See, your good friend there. What's his name?
What's his name?
What's the guy we don't like? Both of us.
Boxer and what?
Yeah. With his dad, Haney.
Oh, yeah.
He's suing his ex-girlfriend for all the presents he got her.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like you know what the definition of presents are,
right? Like
right, Devin? Right? You don't get them back, bro.
That guy, Devin.
You could tell he's clearly bitter there. So shout out to Devin Haney, man. I hope his court case goes a lot better than his fights because he can't fight. Shout out to him. Shout out to Devin.
Yeah.
You're the GOAT, Devin. All right, no deal. Yeah. All right, guys, QMCO. I want to mention this one because, look, we took it out too quickly, but it is coming back down here into that $12 area. So I'm gonna say $12 was the breakout area, and I'm gonna get in here. I'm getting in on QMCO. Let's see if we can get in a little bit. It's not even letting me in. What is this, bro? So let's see if we can get in on QMCO. There we go. We get in. Let's see if this one wants to hold 12. 12 was the breakout level. I'm looking for it to hold this time. And there it kind of goes right up into 19s. Let's set some orders here in the 20s and the 30s as well to see if we can get a nice beak wetter on that. VERI curling right back up. I was worried about this one making its way back down to 5, but it looks like it's found a bit of a bid here at 5.15. A couple of bottoming tail candles, and here we go, trying to curl back up. By no means is it at the day's high, but we'll certainly continue to watch that bad boy. So that's what I'm in right now. Nice ad here on QMCO. I already took a couple of my beak wetters real quick. We got in at 13. It popped up into the high 20s, showing me 26 now. Let's set up some more beak wetters. There it is, back up into 28s. Let's set up another order over here for another fill. Let's see if this one wants to head back into the high side. QMCO looking real good. See if it continues to move higher.
All right, can we get much higher? All right, slowly starting to work. NVDA leading the way. It's crazy because there's this insane push and pull going on. Apple's moving higher, NVDA moving lower. And so, I mean, follow NVDA, Nasdaq, TQs. Don't follow what Apple's up to.
Why?
Do what
I like
I'm
Apple,
short.
Joey.
Other than that, follow it after. Do what. I'm like,
my
hey,
bad,
man, you
bro.
got your thing.
Bad.
Apple's moving, right? And I just need the TQs to go down.
I respect that.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. We're just looking to add a little bit to our day. We're not going.
It is quad witching, Jiho. Yeah, it is, brother. It is, yeah.
Yes, it is, my friend. So we talked about the volume stepping into the market and everything along those lines. What was it? I think we missed a super chat. Did we? Did we get my guy Jose?
Oh, Joey, you might be out of the bad position here. AEO's down 73 pennies to 19 bucks.
Yeah, well, hey, brother, we got lots of time. I got it.
I'm saying for you, you can get away from buying me $150 jeans with a cash receipt.
Yeah,
so that I can
receipt,
cash receipt, Joey. You got to pay cash. You can't pay by card. Because if I return it, then I have to have the same card.
Okay, so
you got to buy cash.
Let's see here. Is there anything for me in this bet?
Yo.
I just want to see.
I know Neil pointed that out to you, but we got video evidence, Joey.
That's fine.
We got video evidence.
That's fine, but I'm asking you if you want to throw anything in.
Do I?
Yeah.
No, in the same way that you wouldn't change the bet last time for me. No.
I did change it.
Hell no.
All right, man. People don't forget. You know.
All right, QMCO breaking out again, Joey. Good ad here into that 12.49 high. That is the high of the day. The $0.50 has been a bit of a resistance level here on QMCO. We got a triple top basically on the 5-minute, maybe even a quadruple one if you look at this area over here. But here we go. We're at 49s right now. Let's set up at 55s, okay? That way we can kind of get a price spike above the level. Let me just see how many shares I have so I don't exhaust it too quickly. No, we're good to go on that. So QMCO, good strength, man, on this one, and less bamboozlement than we certainly saw on AGMH. So a more tame trade, so to speak. And there goes VERI again. We did add into this one, so we're going to wet the beak here at 5.25, that is, excuse me. So we'll see what we can get there. But UMAC is not cooperating. Where's my UMAC trade? Pardon me. UMAC, here it is. This one is not cooperating. If it loses 12.20, that is going to be the end of the trade. It has to put in higher lows. Otherwise, I'm just not interested because it's not riding trend. Vaughn Clark, I see QSI, brother. Good call on that. I've actually got it up here on the side chart. I didn't like it because it's still below the pre-market high. That spike into 163, we're still showing 160. In addition to that, we're still below the aftermarket or the yesterday's high at 164. So I was feeling maybe we could get some sellers at that level. Yeah, because, there could be bag holders from yesterday, but this one was a fantastic look yesterday. We hold the area lows, but we haven't made any new highs today on QSI. It's up 3.8%, Joey.
All right, good look there. Yeah, man, we just like to have fun. I so want to short Apple here. There has to be a pullback coming. There doesn't have to be, though, chase the packs. That's it. There you go. There you go. You can take a look there, Katina Man.
Katina Man is all sorts of amped. He's just back from the gym. $5 in the money. But hold on, Katina Man. Let's also tell them that you added to Apple at $200. So the Katina Man's long on a swing right now at 200 on Apple. So we're going to have to shut him out for that as well. Because heavily in the money.
We give credit where credit is due. Money. Sorry, I mean $6 calls on Grab, not $6.50. Ebbs and flow. Did you post something? I didn't see it, my friend. New highs on Apple, trimming more. Yeah, continue to trim up there, man. This thing is nuts. Hopefully NVDA continues to tank. Let's break through this support level there on the TQs and maybe get that move back in towards the volume weighted average price. I don't like being short, obviously, the Nasdaq when Apple's doing what it wants. So yeah, but we're in and we're going to hold on. We're not going to allow that. We're not going to try to micromanage this position. We cracked the highs, we're out. Other than that, let's diamond hand this all the way down to 101.89 to see if we even get anywhere around that realm on today's session. If NVDA wants to tank, then absolutely. If we get a pullback in Apple, then we might see that as well too. But we also want to look out for rotations into in the names of Microsoft. What has Microsoft been up to on the day straight? Yeah, it's not bad today. Yeah, it's not horrible. But consistent lower highs here. You can see nice trend line to the downside there on MSFT. Nice look there, but this could be borderline bull flag, right? Like if you want to call it that as well too. So not a horrible look. Let's see what META is up to. META. Mark Zuck, I really liked what he's got going on over there. I know Sharif, you don't like the neural.
I like it, Joey. Don't get me wrong, bro. But I was just saying it's not the most advanced.
No, it's not. It's not. And I guess for my dinosaur self, it's just I was like, I'm watching the keynote, and I'm like, wow,
it was all very impressive.
I just like how it's just like everything's subtle, right? Like you just be like this the whole time, you know. And you don't even really know what it's doing. So yeah, I
people
like
think
it.
that you might have a twitch. You're sitting there going like that with your hand.
Well, hey. Well, I mean,
it doesn't really make a difference.
As people start to adapt them more, then they'll realize that, like, hey, this is what that individual is doing. And I like that you can't see on the other side as well.
And that's what Brendo was saying. So I didn't know that was an issue. But apparently, the older glasses, if you had them right now, I could kind of see a bit of a reflection. But Brendo was saying that's not the case this time.
No, that's
which is good for privacy.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you're doing a little.
I'm just curious, right? Like, I don't have the best eyes. How close is that going to be, right? Like, I'm sure I'm
sure you're going to be able to get it in glasses as well, like prescription glasses.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming.
Maybe.
I don't know. Did he mention that?
So? I don't know. But
well, the Apple, what's it called? What's it called? The Vision Pro. You can put glass inserts.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, they're magnetic.
That's
right?
cool. That's cool.
That's my understanding. I've never used it, though. But pretty cool.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. When the market recovers like this, we're really small. And we take it. This will be our second loss of the day once it cracks through that high. So, we're not going to complain about that, Sharif.
All right, man. Shout out to my man, Ozan. Make Lulu to the moon, please. Look, I think Lulu's in trouble, man. I got to tell you. I love Canada. I love my Canadian companies, but Lulu is in some trouble. They're very expensive, and they're kind of losing touch a little bit with, I think, their base. They need more of a social media presence. I just don't see them on there that much. And I know that they're obviously competing with the likes of Gymshark and others who have a very good influencer social media presence. I love Lulu. I think they can definitely recover, but I think the company needs to make some changes and get a little more modern. But let's look at the chart. Let's see where the technical areas of support and resistance are. All right. Let's go to the weekly, Joey, because I think we definitely need a little bit more here because we're at local lows. This is not good. This is not good at all. The only area where I see a possible area of support are the March 2020 lows. We're talking about the COVID lows, okay? That's $130, $128. If you look at the wick, the closing prints, though, they're right here. So this exact area right here is where we closed out on that ugly, ugly week in March of 2020. I'm talking about the week of March 16th. We ended up closing basically break even. Then the next day is when the next week, excuse me, is when we rocketed up, and then we know the story after that. So this is the level, Ozan, going back all the way to March 2020. In addition to that, it was a prior area of resistance back in July of 2018. That same area was a resistance area, a very clear resistance area, a very clear crest on the chart that was tested in March of 2020 and which held on a closing basis, not wick basis. And here we are again, right back at that level. But we are well below the 10 EMA on the weekly, well below the 20. You guys get it. It's not a good looking chart. If there's any, I guess, silver lining is that we're at good support levels right here. But otherwise, Ozan, you know, there's really not much good to say. There's no trend change whatsoever. It's a symphony of lower highs and lower lows. What can you say? So that's the situation. QMCO just took out the day high. It got into 1269er. We went the beak there super quick. Now we're waiting at 75. QMCO, good looking name, man, and it's been quite strong. Initially got in at VWAP at 1120. We exhausted our shares. We got back in once it tested 12 again as a support level. Prior area of resistance, that's why I got back in there. So good look. And then my other very good friend, VERI, right back up into a new high a day. 533, that's a new high a day on VERI. And let's see how QMCO is going. That one we were a little bit of trouble in. Now we're okay. We've got 35s on it showing me 40, so let's wet the beak here. I've still got another profit taker in the high 40s for a beak wetter there. So we'll see if we can get the beak wet, Joey, on UMAC.
Okay.
Return of the Mac.
Oh, that's my...
I know you hate that.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother.
Man, that's all right.
Yeah. I knew you didn't like that one.
There we go. Apple, man. What Apple, go. Katina, man. Face. Hold on, man. What do you... well, I mean, you don't want me to go down that road there, Katina, man, on what I expect. But yeah, big time move right there in AAPL. Really, really good look. Let's take a look at this name from a daily standpoint. The Qs haven't really caught that bid and gone parabolic just yet, but boom, breaking through that. I was talking about this 240 break not too long ago, so that looks pretty good right there. So yeah, continuing its northeast trajectory. I know, Gaurav, you said you were long Apple, so that's a pretty good look. BBAI is definitely on the run. Let's take a look at it from a daily standpoint. And yeah, I mean, not too bad of a look there off the break, off that $4 level. Nice pump up. So yeah, we're not going to complain about that whatsoever. So not bad there. And yeah, okay, let's see if that's going to be the final push here in Apple. That's a pretty big engulfing candle. Starting to see a little bit of selling pressure. Going to sit in this for not much more. If we get another 1 minute candle opening above these highs and it continues to grind higher, because we have the likes of NVDA bouncing off support and some of the other mag names bouncing off some support levels, don't want to be a part of this whatsoever. And I mean, this is going to be my smallest loss on the day. So I mean, we were nice on IBIT and still slightly red on Ethereum, but everything else is substantially larger. But yeah, ready to go.
Good, man. All right, guys, 14 years, 0 hacks, 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers what others do not. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. And with smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, guys, you trade like them. It's regulated in the USA, Canada, as well as Europe, and trusted by 6.8 million traders worldwide. This is a Trader TV Live exclusive, baby. So scan that QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where the pros trade, and now so can you. Why is so capitalized there, Joseph? Am I supposed to emphasize so?
Yeah, so.
It feels like the wrong word to emphasize there. So can you.
Yeah, I was going to say
right?
You, right? You want to put the, you.
Oh, man. Katina, man, how you feeling, brotber? I know you were a little bit under the weather. Yeah? I love being close to you, because now I've got it, Katina, man.
I can't stop. Just this super spreader. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. Super spreader. What is this, COVID?
Yeah, that's what
this guy remembers the COVID lingo. God, man, I don't even want to think about those times. Those were...
it wasn't too bad, man. I told you the only issue I really had was just standing in the grocery line.
No, man, I mean, dude.
Other than that, I had a pretty good time.
Joey Options, UMAC, what a beauty. What a beauty, holding off the volume weighted average price like a glove. 12.25. Where are we long? We're long at $0.33. We just swept the beak there at 60s. This is a range trade in the same way that I was talking about QMCO as a range trade until it's not. It can break in one way or another. It can break down and lose VWAP, in which case we stop out, or it can clear the high of the day, which is that the 2/3 of a dollar, $12.68 HOD. And I'll submit to you, it's more like $12.60 that's real the range, because look at the closing prints, very few above that $12.60 area. And here we are right now, and you're seeing a storm get sold at that $12.60. Let's go ahead and wait a little bit above that. You know, if we're in the 60s, where we're going to be waiting. So we're not going to be waiting at $13.69. We're going to be waiting at $12.69, Joey. So let's go ahead and throw that order there. We'll see if we can get that high day break and move along our merry way. We're showing 62s now on the bid. On the ask, excuse me. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, looking for a continuation on UMAC. Otherwise, we continue to trade it as a range. We're going to start the news real soon. It's a bit of a light day today on the news, so I think we can start it a little bit later at around 1 o'clock. Not too many news items, obviously, on the day, but we do want to give everybody the opportunity to give their thoughts and to dive deep a little bit into it. So we'll continue just for another 12 minutes or so, Joey, and then we'll weasel into the news. And Adara's ready to go. Everything's good there. And I'm definitely interested to find out more about the Donald Trump, President Donald Trump and President Xi conversation. Yeah. I think that's, obviously it's not just about TikTok. You know that. No, it's going to be about many different things.
Depth. Yeah, of course. Exactly.
And so I'm all ears. I want to see exactly what the situation is with your boy Donald and your other boy Xi. Yep. Looks as if they're going to meet, but they're going to meet at a conference. I was hoping that Donald would weasel on over to China. Him and Melania, First Lady Melania. Yeah. And then, because that's what President Xi had invited him. It was an invitation.
Do you think Xi would do what Donald did to Putin and just have a little display of military force and fly an insane...
I don't know. That's a great question. Right? That's a great question. So, and the Chinese are no slouches in military anymore, bro.
Whatsoever.
No slouches. And we saw what happened with India and Pakistan, and how some Eastern weapons versus Western weapons, and what that looked like in real life. So
they have triple the amount of carriers that the U.S. do.
No.
Bro, they have 20.
They have 1 or 2 carriers. The States has
no way, bro. I just watched 23 carriers apparently.
Maybe small carriers where helicopters can take off, but long carriers with runways, America dominates in that.
Yeah,
100%.
Let's double check.
Yeah, check with your friend co-pilot.
I'm going chat.
I'm almost certain that America has way more. It's Joey. I'm pretty certain.
I'm not. Hey man, I'm not doubting. We're gonna check the facts right. Check the facts right now.
All right.
Okay, Bitcoin's going. Everything else is going. I'm gonna type something in. Who has more aircraft carriers?
No. Aircraft carriers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's going to be the U.S., bro. I think they have 11 or something like that, Joey.
The United States. Okay, so okay.
They have 11.
So 11. Yeah.
There you go.
The China only has 3.
Well, bro, but the thing is, China's building islands in the South China Sea, which are essentially they're taking these shallow areas, Joey, where it's kind of maybe 50 feet deep, 20 feet deep, and they're building full big-ass islands and making military bases on those islands, obviously, and just making new territory. So there are no slouches. Obviously, the U.S. military is still number 1. That goes without question, but I think need some modernization, more drones, more stuff like that. We'll see how they.
No, I was wrong there. Yeah, absolutely.
All good.
They got more there. So I got out of the TQs. That's enough of that. We take a small loss. Oops, what did I just do? Take a small loss on that. So not worried about it whatsoever. Still had that nice trade on Bitcoin. It's unfortunate that we didn't hold it. I did Devin Haney this one here, just considering. But yeah. Nice move up there. Nice. I mean, I'm not going to call it a big time recovery, but I'm glad that it wasn't just an all-day fader on that one. Getting right back to the entry as TQs, but I'm not even going to bother with that anymore, considering how strong Apple is. Just going to eliminate that from the playbook. We took the stab, it didn't work out, and then that's what we got going on. BBAI is still breaking out, so relatively strong. I love that Bitcoin, as I just mentioned, is north of VWAP. Ethereum can't break through it just yet, but maybe that will start to get rolling. My contracts are literally flat. They're not doing anything, but my IBIT contracts were cooking up a storm yesterday. So we locked in some of that there, and still sitting on some of our positions. So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Good look, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, we're still in VERI now. I did stop out of my QMCO trade because it did lose 12, so we got stopped out for the remaining amount on that one, but we'll still remain positive on this one. I want to remind everybody that I'm in the sim today. I got shut down a little bit early on trying to take a swing at BERA, but we're going to trade in the exact same fashion. Same rules, same everything goes, okay? Nothing changes. So we're going to continue to watch this one. We lost 12 on QMCO. If we regain it and it makes another 5-minute candle, we'll make a new high. I'll know I got stop hunted, in which case I'll be looking to get back in there. My other trade is VERI. I did add into this one near the highs over here at the fifth of a dollar, and I'm looking for this one to continue into that 5 1/3. It's 533 high, but we didn't get the print because it didn't cross up there, which is okay. So I'll continue to watch that. And then last but not least, UMAC, right? We've been talking about this one basically all day. Still holding a piece here as we continue to range south of that 1260 area. That's why I went the beak quite aggressively there, but I'm happy with my entries on this one. Happy with my exits as well. Looking to do more on UMAC, UMAC. If there are any new small cap traders or new small cap gappers that are making moves, I'd love to hear about them, guys. Just tag me or Joe and let us know exactly about that. Yeah, so that's it there. What else you got, Joey? I did not realize, shout out to Jag, I did not realize you were in the sim. Love that you don't let it bother you based on your demeanor. I would have guessed that. Good on you. Thanks, brother. But like, you know, it's part of the business. I mean, can't pretend like I've never been emotional in trading, but if we're going to be emotional every time, it's just not going to be the right business for me. So,
there's no chance.
Yeah.
Obviously, you feel a type of way, but
no, I didn't.
Oh,
I was like, okay, I screwed up. I realized that, you know, I screwed up. I was emotional in the moment, not emotional after.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I was adding at positions I shouldn't have been adding to. So that to me says irrational, right? Because if you were rational, you wouldn't have been adding in those positions.
Yeah, that was me on Wednesday. I was just like, you know what, man, I don't really. And then
VRME.
And then for me personally, it's just like, all right, why did I do that? Come back the next day. I was like, Sharif, man, I'm locked in today.
Good,
and
bro.
Bang, locked in this morning as well.
I don't even remember the last time I was shut down, so I don't really feel too bad about
Exactly. I wouldn't lose honestly a second of sleep off of that whatsoever. I would actually gain sleep somehow.
No one can put Sharif into sim. Release him. I freaking love Ozan, man.
Yeah.
Ozan, when I come watch the Cowboys, I'm definitely giving you a show. You're my kind of guy, bro. I love your sarcastic attitude. Eric, it was BREA. Remember that big mover yesterday that was breaking out because they added crypto to their corporate treasury? So I saw it was up again today. I tried to catch it into a break, and it was the wrong trade, and I paid the price. So that's on me, baby. Grandmother's Garden. Sure, let's just look quickly here at VRME because somebody called out VRME. Not bad, not great. It's got 8.1 million shares for $1. It's respecting trend, to be fair. That 10 EMA is like a glove. So I base my trade on the 10 EMA on the 5. It's up 40%. Respectable look. You're not getting much of a move. But it did start out its life yesterday or this morning below $1, and now it's about 35% above that. So who can argue with that? Anything off that 10 EMA, I would say, is a buy with a possible stop maybe below the 20. That's how I would suggest you do that. Well, who else here? Grandmother's Garden, LEU. Let's have a look at LEU. Not a bad look. It's just $300 though. So it's a little bit outside my wheelhouse with respect to small cap gappers, but this is a good looking trend here. You can't argue with that kind of higher low situation. If you pick it up off the 10 EMA or anywhere in and around the 10 EMA, you've made money, and you've made plenty of money because this thing is up $36 on the day, right? So I'm not saying you would have had lows, but if you got it in any, pullback over here, you're doing real well. So definitely LEU looking fantastic. What is this company? Centrus Energy Group, $5.4 billion market cap. So not a small cap gapper, but one with a good trend on it. IPO alert, PTRN is open. Say less, PTRN. Shout out to my man there, Chart Hustle. All right, let's see what this one is doing. A little bit low on volume. PTRN about 5.21 million shares, but why does it look like it's doing nothing? Because it all came in that opening print right at 1247. All right, guys, PTRN, new IPO. If you guys are interested in that, let's load it up on the trading screen and take a gander of what the time and sales looks like. This is on the NQ, I'm assuming. PTRN, NQ, it is. Decent, Joey, 4 penny spread, not bad, not bad. I don't have any information about this, but I can already tell you it's trading below the IPO price because look at that, it's down on the day, 3.5%. So I don't know where the IPO price was because I didn't do any background information or background look on this one, but it's right at the day's high, right here. This is it, 1350, just took out the day's high. So there we go, we're trending up. Shout out to you, my man, good call out by you. This one is trending up, looking at breaking out here. Okay, 25 pennies above where we called it. Here comes 14 on PTRN, looking go green. This ain't for me, but this is definitely one you can keep an eye on, PTRN IPO. Jay Haas, You're a real one for that, bro. Transparency is rare amongst the trading community. Too much pride at stake, and that's where, as traders, tend to go wrong. Salute right back to you, bro. I don't take any credit for that. You know, I don't really want to take any credit for taking dumbass trades and getting shut down. But I thank you for the kind words. I do appreciate that, brother. And thank you again for that. Scar Joe Rabbit, FSLY. Let's have a look at Fastly, excuse me. What are we doing here on this? This is the 1 minute. Okay, it looks like a bit of a sell the day kind of thing. Okay, bottomed out there at 8.5, trending back up into 880. What's the catalyst on this, brother? Because I'm not seeing any news item on this, so I'm hesitant to even look at levels. Let's look at the daily quickly over here. Yeah, this is not a good looking chart, I gotta tell you. It looks like you found some support here at $4.5, $5, but not exactly a glowing endorsement. Look at those COVID highs. Yeah, that's just a tough look right there. I don't know about this one, brother. Yeah, that's a gnarly looking COVID high. This thing was $130. Now it's $8.50. How many stocks can you say that about? That made highs during COVID that they'll never see again? There's a lot, man. Them, There's got to be a lot.
There's a lot of them.
And this one feels like it. You never really know what this one's future is. But
go to Moderna.
mRNA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about that.
Zero chance.
Zero, straight to jail. Look, Joey, they got mRNA technology. If they can get past COVID and stop talking about flu and COVID, because nobody wants to hear it, and start talking about cancer and all that other stuff.
You think they can get... Yeah,
oh, goodness, yes. Goodness, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So start using that messenger RNA for something other than COVID, because people have really had enough of that, man.
Yeah.
All right, Joey, let's set up for the news.
Yeah,
what do you got?
Let's do it. I got it. Yeah, ONDS for our good friend Dave in the chat. Yeah, so I am starting to see, so I did see some open interest right there. So that means they're opening up some contracts. So come the 17th, just be prepared, right? That's substantially larger. I'm not saying that it's going to be a wall or anything along those lines. You just want to see how the price reacts around those specific strikes. Let's pull up the actual underlying asset to see what it is and what it's up to. And if that's going to be like a key resistance zone or something, you just try to correlate the two. I don't think my camera's slightly tilted here, guys, so if we can get that, because I don't think it's centered, but I could be wrong as well, too, at the end of the day. I'll just be quiet. Oh, have you? Okay, yeah, it's slightly that way, I guess, to my left. But here it is, right? So that might be coming into play, $7.50 and $9. What is that previous high? Just under $7. Watch out for any form of reaction, and then maybe you get some indecision or anything. If it starts to cool down around those specific areas, then that's going to tell you a lot. Start taking a little bit of profit, leave some for a runner as well, too.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen Oklo today. Chill Vibes. Sorry, I was.
Yeah, they're all really strong, right? SMR and E, right?
Chill Vibes asked me if I seen it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's start the news. Let's start with Tesla. Guys, getting an upgrade from Baird on physical AI. What do they mean by that? Well, let's first talk about what they did. They upgraded them to outperform with a new price target and a gnarly increase on the price target, up from 320 into 548 now. They're citing a premium valuation, or they're saying the premium valuation is justified as investors, their focus is shifting from just being a car company to a physical AI company. As we know, Tesla's been very strong lately. At the time of the writing of this article, it's up 24% in the past month. And here's what they're saying with respect to physical AI and their leadership in that space. They're seen as a leader in this space as a result of their development in robotics, self-driving, robo-taxi development, and analyst Ben Callow, he noted the muted stock reactions to weak earnings suggest to him and Baird that the market is looking beyond the near-term results of these weak deliveries, and they're looking to physical AI. We'll pause for a second here, Joey.
All right, guys, each year 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. As he listed, Orgenex Ogen is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Orgenex is uniquely positioned to lead the way, guys.
All right, so let's talk about what we mean by that. So here's what the market is looking for in terms of upcoming reveals. Things that we already know about, Assassino. Next-gen Optimus, obviously. New robo-taxi markets. We've seen the robo-taxi roll out, in certain jurisdictions, but they're not even supposed to call it robo-taxi because they don't have clearance in California. We also know Musk's compensation package also being looked at as a possible tailwind here as shareholders want to see Elon Musk at the helm. More affordable Tesla vehicles. We've been calling this the Model 2 or the Model Q, whatever you want to call it. And the energy storage and the software that comes with that. That's been a big mover for them. It's been growing faster than any other division that they have, but very spoken little about is what I mean to say. So here's what Elon's pay package looks like. So Tesla's proposed pay package for Elon ties rewards to aggressive product and financial milestones. The targets include the following: 20 million vehicles delivered annually, 10 million full self-driving subscriptions, 1 million robots and 1 million robo-taxis deployed, not produced, but sold and deployed, and a market cap threshold as high as 8.5 trillion. Let's talk about Baird's bull case and base case. Their base case is Tesla hits a minimum target of 5.5 trillion in valuation they're saying by 2035, with a share price of around $1,400. Their bull case is that Tesla doubles the milestones with a $12 trillion valuation and $3,000 stock price. Needless to say, Joseph, these are very ambitious goals and highly speculative.
Yeah, they're extremely ambitious and optimistic in my opinion. But I mean, if Katina Man gets FSD, he's already pretty much halfway there. So on the subscriptions, and I'm pretty sure he's going to lock into that. But in all seriousness, guys, I think I'm not going to say it's a stretch or anything, because in a span of 10 years, obviously anything can happen. But from a market cap standpoint, that's going to be absolutely insane. And if Tesla's going to be at 8.5 trillion, I'm just saying, obviously, with the bull case and being optimistic, what are the likes of Apple and NVDA and Microsoft going to be trading at? I'm going to stick by my guns and say that I believe that autonomy is going to be the way of the future. It's just the evolution of, I think, the human race. And anything is achievable. I just think it might be a little bit of a stretch.
$5.5 trillion valuation, Adara, by 2035. That's their base case. Thoughts?
This is Cathie Wood levels of optimism. We've heard Cathie Wood's fun little price targets on Tesla and things like that. But no, in all seriousness, the biggest thing that strikes me as kind of interesting about this note is that they're like, oh, well, you know, people are valuing it as an AI company more than a car company. And their first aspect of their target is car deliveries. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm the type of person where I don't want to speculate too much on the future because I'm not quite sure that you know, is what I'm here to do. That being said, I think that, you know, obviously with Elon Musk making these efforts, I think there's definitely potential for Tesla to grow to an extent. And the Tesla final tranche payment goal for market cap is roughly in between these two market cap ranges provided by Baird. You got 5.5 and then 12. I think Elon's is like 8.5 that he has to make for the pay package. So interesting look. I think, like, honestly, if anything, it just makes Elon's pay package goal a little bit more realistic sounding, if anything.
Fair. Thank you, Adara, for that. Let's go on. Okay, I'm hearing myself echo. It's not going to work out for me. All right, so let's talk about NVIDIA making a $900 million AI talent grab. We were talking about Zuck to no end, I should say, poaching talent. Now NVIDIA is doing it. In fact, they paid over $900 million in a cash and stock transaction to hire Infabrica CEO Roshan Sankar and a team of employees that come along with him, while also, with the same $900 million, licensing the startup's networking technology. Let's talk a little about this. This allows NVIDIA to kind of secure talent as well as intellectual property without actually having to buy out the company and face regulatory hurdles by the SEC. We're going to pause for a second. Adara has news.
ETH-A getting some volume. Elon Musk posting kind of a cryptic tweet. So he's quote tweeting a post from September 30th, 2019 by former Vice President Kamala Harris saying that Donald Trump's Twitter account should be suspended. Now, almost 6 years later, Elon Musk is posting this emoji in reply to that post. So this basically is some people thinking that if, I guess, the account does get suspended, Trump will be on Truth more. Either way, this did lead to a spike in DJT, which of course is Trump Media and Technologies, which runs Truth Social. Volume spike on this as well. Back to you.
Assuming he doesn't like the whole thing with, what's that guy's name again? Kimmel. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. Let's go on. So Infabrica, what do they do? right? So they're paid $900 million for this. What did they do? So they develop hardware solutions that connect over 100,000 GPUs into a unified cluster. We know that that was one of Elon's, major achievements. That the fact that he strung, 100,000 of these H100s together at a time when he did it, when you're only stringing about 30,000 of these. So now, obviously, this seems to be the standard because that's what this company does. The tech that they bought here from Fabrica could help deliver integrated AI systems that operate as a single supercomputer. And obviously it gives them the ability to support large-scale data centers like Microsoft's new $4 billion one in Wisconsin. Unlike the previous, though, single processor setups like the A100, NVIDIA's Blackwell, the B200 and the GB200, their Blackwell generation racks now have about 72 GPUs per system. So this deal complements NVIDIA's push for scalable turnkey AI infrastructure. Joey, so again, we see a lot of acquisitions from other Mag 7 names.
Yeah.
Nice to see one from NVIDIA here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good look. You got Jensen taking a page out of Mark's book here and acquiring some talent. I think that's positive. We haven't seen that in the likes of Apple, so very, very interesting on that front. And it's essentially what, that's what Elon did not too long ago. He strung a bunch of these together and made a super, right? And made like a super computer or whatever it was. But now you got this company here, so not too bad of a look. I think that's just a drop in the bucket for NVIDIA cash-wise, so not too bad of a look there, obviously. But other than that, taking a page out of Meta's book.
Good acquisition, Adara, or kind of maybe wasteful spending?
To burn, right? And as you said, they're the company out of the Mag 7s that I feel like we see with the least investment announcements. And I think also, to go back to the Intel buy a bit, just to kind of make a larger point, NVIDIA seems the type, unlike this massive Mark Zuckerberg AI push, they're not going to do anything completely out of the blue, right? They have a plan, they have a goal. And I also want to remind people of that as well, because yesterday, during this joint press conference that Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, had with Lip-Bu Tan, CEO of Intel, they just made that deal. Jensen Huang did clarify that, hey, like NVIDIA is still going to have their relationship with ARM. That's not going to be impacted by the Intel deal. We still love working with Taiwan Semis. So I think Jensen's really good at balancing priorities. I mean, like I said, this is the type of thing where I kind of want to see if and how it actually impacts the company before I comment too much on it. But I know AMD made an acquisition like a year ago, so it's not completely out of the blue for these chip names to try to make these acquisitions, to try to do these investments or, M&A type things. If anything, it seems like it's past time for NVIDIA to do that, and I trust Jensen.
Sounds good. So I want to add a little bit of something here. Specifically, this is what the Chinese are doing. So they can't get their hands on these H100s or anything, remotely better than the H20. So what they're doing is they're using the Huawei Ascend, and they're stringing these things 200,000-300,000 together. And according to the reports that are coming out of China, they're weaker on a per GPU basis, but when strung together, at least in practical output, they're able to achieve very similar, if not the same results with lesser H100. So obviously more CapEx has to be spent because you're having more GPUs that you've got to string together. And as well, obviously the networking of these GPUs is as important as the GPUs. They all have to be in sync, otherwise it doesn't work. And keeping them all in sync is very challenging, hence why Jensen went to see what Elon did in Memphis, because nobody believed it was doable at the time. In any event, so this is something that we've been seeing a lot more of ever since Elon announced it, where they're stringing these together. Now the Chinese are trying to use it to kind of circumvent some of these export restrictions. So this seems to be in vogue right now, at least for data center build-out. That's kind of my 2 cents here. Let's go on to the next topic, Joey. But we just got a super chat here, so maybe we can pause. You can have a look at that one for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been watching you guys every day for the last 6 months, and I don't even day trade. I just purchase the stocks you guys talk about, SMR, QUBT, and SoFi. This last week has been crazy. Thank you. I mean, yeah, there you go. It's that simple at the end of the day. Just, but obviously being slightly
amazing.
Yeah, I mean those things are absolutely nuts. Yeah, go
João. Yeah, he's probably either Portuguese or Brazilian. It's going to be one or the other.
But I mean, he's got a euro up there, so we're going. It's a euro.
So then he's probably Portuguese. Yeah.
So shout out to João. Yeah. My dad's buddy's name.
Yeah, is it?
My buddy's dad's name.
João, you said it very good. Assassino's very impressed, bro.
Let's go, man. I'm telling you that. Yeah, yo hablo español.
Did you look at SoFi for him?
No.
Oh, he doesn't want
no.
SoFi.
He's saying he just says he doesn't. He just says he buys
right.
the stocks like SMR, QQQ,
Thank you very much.
SoFi, and everything. Last week has been crazy. No, thank you very much. I hope and you know what I'm going to say, João. Don't spend it all in one place. Diversify.
Shout out to João Pedro.
Yeah, so diversify in your spending because.
Should we do a little bit of FedEx here, Joey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's FedEx at right now?
They got an upgrade this one.
Well, they are reported, right?
Yeah.
They're up 2.5, a little bit less. So they reported earnings yesterday. Adjusted EPS beat the street's expectations, coming in at 383. The street wanted 359 on revenue of 22.24 billion. Again, beating expectations. The street was looking for 21 2/3 billion. Net income growing from last year. They took home about $820 million as profit. That's up from $790 million in profit they had last year. Their U.S. average daily package volume rose about 6% year over year, but that's the good news. What's the bad news here? Their freight segment weighed on performance due to lower revenue and higher wage costs. Remember, they had to pay their employees. UPS, FedEx, they had to, I think it was 2023 or early 2024 when they had some union issues. Now, let's talk about the trade headwinds, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows for FTX. In fact, they're facing a $150 million trade-related headwind. Why? A major factor was the removal of the de minimis $800 duty-free exemption, which Donald Trump removed via executive order. So the likes of Temu and Shein, who are Chinese sellers, use that sort of exception to bring in their product to the United States tax-free. And since a large share of the small package volume for FTX originated in China, they've had to adjust the strategy to kind of get around that. Now, they're guiding decent here, full year 2026 EPS in line with the estimates. Likewise, with revenue, they're gauging revenue to grow about 4 to 6% for full year 2026. That's ahead of the street's expectation of 1 to 2%. And they also want to spin off that freight division, the one that's losing money right now. They're actually looking to spin it off by June, Joey, of next year. So we may see something like, GE Vernova make a scene.
Yeah. I mean, so FedEx did get the upgrade this morning, guys, and UPS got the downgrade, actually, a lowered price target or to from a neutral to sell or something along those lines. But let's take a look at what they've been up to. From a daily standpoint. I remember, I think it might have been Neil or Cantina and I when we seen that they were going to look to split. There we reported it wasn't yesterday, it was their previous quarter when I think it was initially announced. But as for stock appreciation, you're up 20% off of the April lows. But if you zoom out and just take a look at this thing from a daily standpoint, I hope they pay a really good dividend. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be getting involved in it just yet, considering. But there is some key support and resistance zones that if it breaks through, then you might be lucky enough to catch a breakout on this name.
All right, Adara, what's your take?
I think it's just funny to kind of compare them for a second. The way that FedEx and UPS, even with one getting upgrade, one getting downgrade, their revenue over the years, this is their annual revenue, it tracks each other to a pretty crazy way. If you look at this here, if you can just go to my screen for a second, UPS, I mean, their revenue is slightly larger than FedEx, but the trends in the revenue are almost identical, which is interesting. It shows that this industry, I guess, tends to perform whatever way, regardless of the brand. I think this is a better report than I was necessarily expecting for FedEx. I think the biggest issue is just maybe that impact from the de minimis that we heard about. That could be an impact on the fiscal year. But we'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. That's just guidance for now. And I think that if they guided this impact and then we actually get better than expected, or I guess less of a hit than expected, that's probably a great look for the company. The fact that the midpoint's in line with estimates for their EPS guide, I think, is fine. Revenue growth projection was way better than expected. I think that's probably the best thing for this report. But yeah, not too much to say. Solid. We'll have to see what happens.
Apple's iPhone global launch, strong early demand being reported as AI questions remain. So what am I talking about? Apple launched the iPhone 17 series worldwide today alongside the new Apple Watch and AirPods Pro model. Customers lined up overnight in major cities like Beijing, London, Singapore, Dubai. They're all there, and as well as online. China remains, though, a very, very important part for Apple. So let's talk about how they're doing, or the demand for the new iPhone in China. Early demand, at least, has been robust. If you believe JD.com, they reported iPhone 17 pre-orders in the first minute. surpassed the entire first day of volume for the iPhone 16 series. That speaks volumes there, no pun intended. JD.com also reported trade-in sales for the new iPhone were 4 times higher than they were last year. Customers cited many reasons for why they're upgrading: new design, improved heat dissipation, larger storage, premium features, all as reasons for switching. And I've seen videos make their way on TikTok of people trying to break the iPhone Air. It seems to be, at least for the moment, indestructible. Assassino, perhaps I'll send that to you and we could maybe show it over here. So I'll send that once we're done, and then Joey Options starts giving us his take there. So I'll get that to you in a second. Let's talk about what else. Obviously, AI is still very much a question. Questions do linger over Apple's artificial intelligence strategy. Experts believe that Apple still has a runway to catch up, but the pressure is on, Joey. So what's your look here? Apple up 245, 3% on the day.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the super cycle as well. You're looking for about 15% growth in sales. And there's some projections that you're going to probably get around maybe high single digits, maybe even 10% growth in sales, which I think is going to be phenomenal for it. We didn't get the super cycle that we were looking for in the 16. Is the 17 going to do that? Maybe. Also with the release of the Slim. I know a lot of people are speaking high about it. Our guy Marquez was speaking worlds about the Slim. It's shocking how thin it actually is. So yeah, we'll be patient and wait and see. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good look that you're starting to get an uptick in sales for the 17 there.
Yeah, it's not a bad look. Adara, what's your take on the early demand?
That it seems like a good thing, right? You know, you want to have that demand. I'm never quite sure what qualifies as a super cycle, so we'll have to wait and see if that's what happens here.
15%.
But again, I think the AI concern could still potentially be a thing. That being said, though, like, you know, with Apple, at least we get some kind of development on the hardware. I think the fact that you've got the Slim phone and that is apparently being well received, maybe a nice look. I still have the iPhone SE, so I really can't comment on the new phones. But, you know, as long as they're performing well, the fact that they're not breaking seems like a good sign, I guess.
Quantum stock surge, IONQ, Rigetti, D-Wave, they're all in focus. What a day, what a week they've had as of late. So quantum computing stocks have delivered strong, very strong gains this year, supported by tech breakouts and growing demand for that next-gen computing. For example, IONQ announced fresh advancements at the Qubits 2025 conference. For their part, Rigetti, they secured a $45 million defense contract from the Air Force Research Laboratory. And D-Wave Systems, they made strides in what they're calling annealing-based systems, building traction, you know, with enterprise clients, etc. Despite the rally, though, quantum stocks still remain relatively small compared to the semiconductor industry. Just by way of comparison, obviously this is not a fair comparison, but I'm drawing this for the sake of making a point. $25 billion market cap for IONQ. NVIDIA is like almost $4 trillion. Where is it at right now? It's at 4.2 trillion. So yeah, clearly a big runway still for these quantum names. The technical view, Joey, here for IONQ chart shows an explosive breakout over the past 2 weeks. Rigetti and D-Wave also show very strong setups, but IONQ remains the leader in liquidity as well as price action. So we'll kind of see. Yeah, there's the chart on IONQ there. It's a fantastic look.
Yeah, I think and just to add to your point there, Sharif, I think this was the leader for some time, right? I think a lot of people liked, obviously, IONQ a little bit more than some of the other names, but they look fantastic, right? This is insane. If you go back to October of 2024, so just a little bit up from a month from now, less than a couple of weeks, you're almost at 1,000% return, and that's the thing, right? That's hindsight and what if trading. We don't really do that, but it's a really, really good look, and I'm curious to see, just from a market cap standpoint, you can see the difference in the divergence between them, and I'm curious if the quantum space ever hits those market caps of $1 trillion. I think you're still sitting pretty good, in my opinion, if it does hit that ever, and I think there's a chance. I would never rule it out.
Adara, what do you make of this breakout here? Is this a legitimate breakout, or are we? Is this a fade, possibly? What's your thinking?
I don't know. I mean, I think the fact that they all had catalysts this week shows that they do kind of tend to move in tandem. And with that in mind, I do want to bring up this infographic. This is as of like July 2025, but it really shows the monthly performance in each of these quantum tickers, right, starting in November 2024. So with that in mind, regardless of how they actually performed in the month, they all tend to perform kind of similarly, right? So I think you really see that. And even the fact that now they're coming out with catalysts At the same time, I think it's pretty significant. You know, in the last, 48 hours, you've had catalysts for IONQ, QBTS, and Rejection. So I think, Sharif, you know me, I'm never going to really try to pick a direction. I don't like speculating like that, but I will say, I think whatever they do, they're probably going to continue to move in lockstep. The fact that they're all kind of trying to push these all-time highs, pushing out with news, I think that lockstep could potentially be higher, but again, don't want to speculate too hard.
Yeah, that's fair, Dara. I just want to remind everybody that some of the hyperscalers, they're also investing in quantum. Meta, Google, Amazon have all increased their quantum investments in parallel with AI. Obviously, they're not spending nearly as much on AI. So here it is. Assassino, thank you for doing that. So right now on the screen, that's the iPhone Slim, and this guy is trying to destroy it. So you can't hear the audio, obviously, but he's actually pushing real hard. He's going to bring a hammer now. He's going to try to smash the screen. So unless you really think that this is all made up, to me, this is good because I was concerned about this, Joey. Recalling I don't know if you guys remember, the iPhone 6S, their first move into the bigger screens, Joey, back, I think it was 14 or 13, maybe 15, 2015, when they went into the big screens, and that 6S was bending, bro, when you put it in your pocket, not trying to bend it on a table. So clearly, if you believe that video is true, that's pretty some good advancement right there.
That's fantastic stuff. The guy couldn't bend or break it. The other ones, I remember people were putting it in and it had like a little bit of a bend.
He wants a demo with my phone on Monday. Yes, for sure.
Try it out.
What a guy, bro.
So,
sorry to interrupt you,
Boston
Joey.
says he has 100 shares at QBTS.
Bengate, yes. Robert
at
Woods.
$3.65. Nice look there. But no, I think it's a good advancement, as you just mentioned there, Sharif. I'm all out of, I got out of NVDL. I'm going to probably just sit on my hands for the rest of the day.
All right.
I'm not going to trade anymore. Hold on to the green.
Yeah, hold on to the green, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's the look there. Let's move on to the next story. CrowdStrike. What a freaking day this stock had yesterday. This was trading like a small cap gapper. CRW freaking D jumped 12.5% yesterday after executives laid out what they're calling a long-term growth plan at the Falcon investment briefing out in Vegas. Management forecasts non-GAAP operating margins to rise decently in 26 and even more in 27. Their free cash flow margins also expected to expand in both full year 26 and 27. ARR, annual recurring revenue, a very important metric for a company like this because you want to make sure you have the same customers in addition to adding to them, not just one-off. Also projected to grow healthy amounts in full year 26 and full year 27. And they're saying longer term, but they're looking down to 29. Full year 29, margins are targeted at 28 to 32%. Initially, I thought that wasn't good, right? Because when we look at SaaS and services, sometimes we're talking about 70, 80% gross margins. But then I started looking at the comps, the comparables, and this is quite good. In fact, it's at the higher end of the range. So the market was, justified in really being exuberant about this. As we know, Joey, CrowdStrike is positioning itself as a leader in securing AI agents. We'll be hearing of that a lot more. To capitalize, the company announced the acquisition of Pangea, not the old continent, but the company. The rise of AI-driven cyber threats is very good for the company, not good for us, but good for the company, because it's expected to be a major long-term growth driver. As AI becomes more clever, and cybersecurity has to adjust as well, game of cat and mouse, right? And they're projecting, Joey, total addressable market, the TAM, is going to grow to $140 billion in 26 and $300 billion by the next decade, by the end of this decade.
I mean, we remember the blackout that happened when they were doing the software update or whatever it was. What does the market think about that? Yeah, it's irrelevant. That's gone in the wind. I know a while ago they were still facing a little bit of issues, so they had to pay up a little bit of money, I believe, on that one there. But off of these September lows, you're up 24%, a little bit more than that. It's a fantastic look. And if we go across some of the other names, I think cybersecurity obviously is going to be extremely important. PanW is going to break out here, Sharif, so that's looking pretty good. We got the likes of Zscaler as well, too. Not a horrible look. Hammer candle off of those lows and starting to bounce. I don't know, did you see PanW's daily? Did you see it?
What?
Did you see PanW's daily?
Yeah, I know. I don't talk about that. You already know that.
Breakout.
Yeah.
It's going to break out.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
It's good, man.
Okay, Adara, what do you make of CrowdStrike?
Yeah, I like this is interesting too. We had that massive move on this when this came out, I guess between Wednesday and Thursday. Tons of analyst notes on it. on Thursday as well. Today, definitely a little bit choppier, but the fact that it's holding up relatively decently around 500 is a nice sign. We're near all-time highs on it. I think that's a good look, and I think the market seems to be responding well, as you would expect. Now, one thing, too, Sharif, that you touched on as well is the total addressable market, right? And we had Joe touch on that as well, looking at these other charts for other cybersecurity companies. So how I interpret that is this is not just a good look for CrowdStrike, this is a good look for the whole space. Now, CrowdStrike, obviously, the individual catalyst, this one had that move yesterday intraday for a stock like this, and then to close near day's highs is pretty wild as someone who trades and watches these stocks quite frequently. So yeah, I think that the fact that this total addressable market can increase, especially with the AI innovation, I think, when your market's increasing, that also implies increases for all your competitors. But if CrowdStrike's trying to get a leg up there with an acquisition and with AI, I think that maybe makes it stand out. We'll have to wait and see.
Lennar reported earnings they miss, which raises questions for the home builders outlook. Let's see the chart on Lennar, the daily over here. Let's see, because they reported earnings. Let's take a quick look at LEN. This is the weekly. Okay. So, yeah, we're still well off all-time highs. We were finding a bit of a base there on Lennar at $100, moving up into that 140, but it looks like we're encountering resistance, at least in the mid-140s to 150, so not a good look. What does the daily look like? Let's just look at the daily super quick. Yeah, very similar. Right back down into the 200. Let's see if it holds that 200 EMA, okay? So that's what we'll be looking at there. So they reported Q3 earnings. Their EPS came in at $2 a share, which missed the $2.12 expected by the street, and is also down sharply from what they printed a year ago, which was $3.59. So clearly something is afoot. We know what it is. Obviously, the housing market is weak. Revenue came at $8.81 billion, just below the $9.04 billion expectations, but up slightly from the 9.42. That can't be. 8.42 that they printed last year. The stock has fallen about 2.5% year to date at the time of the writing of this article, which is obviously lagging behind the S&P, which is about 12 and a bit. Up on the year. The home building sector, that's the problem. It's under pressure with earnings and demand trends tied to the broader housing affordability and rate-sensitive conditions, hence why we've been talking about rates for so long. Competitors like KBH, KB Home is due to report next week as well, so we'll be definitely looking to make comparisons between their report and Lennar. And is expected for KBH anyway to show a year-over-year decline of about 26.5%. Analysts are forecasting even worse projections for them, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. They do report the analyst estimates for the full year. For the guidance for Lennar, they're guiding full year 2025 EPS on $9.04 on revenue of $35.2 billion. For the current quarter, though, Joey, they're guiding EPS of $2.65 on revenue of $10.25 billion. Yeah,
so I mean, we can take a look at this name from that previous peak, and you're still down 31%. I mean, I thought that this 25 bits was going to do a little bit more for this market, and I guess it's doing pretty good, right? Considering you have some of the major averages putting in some highs. Crypto space was relatively weak, but as for the home builders, I know people are looking for the lower mortgage rates to refinance, and then obviously the consumer slightly slowing down as well too. But I think prices are still relatively high, and then with the BIPs and then the lower mortgage rates coming in, I think it's going to add a little bit of fuel to the home sector.
That's fair, Joe.
Sector,
yeah, that should be a good look, especially with the rates coming down.
Like an uptick, maybe. I don't think anything's changed. They're supposed to be cool until 2026. Mid-2026, you're supposed to see prices still steadily decline, nothing substantially, but then apparently it's going to pick up after that. So
before we bring in Adair, I just want to give you just from us in Canada. What's up, Randy? So there's nothing coming to market all of 27 and 28 because I'm talking about condos and new builds. There's nothing coming to market because if they were going to come to market, they would have had to have met all the deadlines by now. So we know for a fact that there will be a shortage of supply in 27 and 28. What does that do? That puts a bottom on the price, even though we don't have a lot of demand because people don't have the money and interest rates remain high. There's not going to be that sort of increasing supply and lesser demand. So the supply is going to flatline while demand still, continues to increase gradually.
So I mean, I was looking at I was listening to some Doug Ford stuff the other day, and he's not going to meet his quota.
No, right?
He's not going to meet that quota.
The builders don't want to build, Joey.
They don't want to build. The cost of borrowing is too high, I guess. But it's still insane the prices of some of these condos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, how can someone even ask for that?
And they're shoe boxes.
Shoe boxes.
Shoe boxes.
Shoe boxes, bro.
And another thing. Yeah, they are, dude. Randy, you know exactly what's up.
And I said this before, so like the minimum square foot here in Ontario or in Toronto,
300
it's like,
400,
yeah, it's like 350, 400. So it doesn't have to be big. So it's like the Juliet. With you have to have the what is the folding bed?
The Murphy bed.
Murphy bed, right? Yeah. Which is absolutely sickening. And they're asking for $600,000-$700,000 for something for 400 square feet.
Well,
what is that a square foot? That is insane.
And can you also mention the fact that the assignment sales are through the roof? Give you a little anecdotal.
Through the roof?
Through the roof. People can't close.
Oh, okay.
Because they bought in 21 at 800,000, and now they're assigning it at 500, and they have a mortgage for 300,000 with no house, an unsecured loan of $300,000.
Yeah.
You know how many stories we're seeing like this on the news consistently?
Yeah, a lot.
People are underwater.
Yeah,
you seeing this as well? Yeah, it's a tough look.
At one point when you were scrolling through during QT and when the rates were being hiked here, you could just see people just getting pushed out of their mortgage, whoever had variables, and you're just seeing the losses.
Hate to say it, bro.
Yeah, you hate to say it, and you see the losses that some of these people were taking on their houses because they couldn't afford to carry the mortgage. It's like they're buying something for $1.5 million. They have to sell it for $1.2 million, $1.1 million, and you're just sitting on that. You're sitting on that $400,000 loss. You still owe the bank that money at the end of the day, and it's like, how do you pay it back when your most leveraged asset,
up the yin yang.
Your most leveraged asset isn't working for you.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Well said.
Right?
Well said.
Right?
The one that you're supposed to have the equity in.
Exactly. So.
Let's see what Adara has to think about this. Adara, Lenar.
Yeah, Lenar, I mean, I think one thing, too, is that if we're comparing it to KB Homes, I do think it's really worth noting that KB Homes is in a very different place from Lenar, as you guys mentioned, but I think, like, looking at it visually, this is staggering. So there's this Lenar's annual revenue from 2009 to 2024. The yellow is KB Homes, and, like, to say it's distinctly different is putting it so mildly, not even just like the actual revenue numbers themselves, but the trajectory of the growth. Like even when you looked at UPS versus FedEx a couple slides ago, sure, one was making more than the other, but the trajectories were identical. This is not the case here. Lennar, even, regardless of this report, does seem to be growing a bit better than KB Homes to do a bit of a comparison, right? Like KB Homes, that revenue is pretty stagnant on a year-over-year basis. We're gonna have to wait and see, I guess, how KB Homes actually performs. Maybe it shows up Lennar, who knows? But I think right now the trajectory does seem to be Lennar on an annual basis, more or less will grow revenue, even if it has to stagnate a bit. Let's see if 2025 gives us a bit of this breakout, because if we do look at this pattern, suggests we could get a bit of a push this year for Lennar's revenue.
Thank you, Adara. All right, let's go on to GE Healthcare, weighing options for spinning off its China unit amid headwinds. So GE Healthcare is working with advisors to explore options for China operations, including a potential outright sale or sale of a stake and or partnership. The China unit could be valued in the billions of dollars, though talks remain at an early stage and no firm valuation has been disclosed by the company or anybody else. Bloomberg was the first to report this, but GEH, that's the ticker of GE Healthcare, has not confirmed, saying it doesn't respond to rumors. As we know, GE Healthcare manufactures like CAT scans, MRI machines, other medical devices, and they manufacture them in China out of 6 different factories. Revenue from China did fall 15% last year in 2024, pressured obviously, in this year, pressured by tariffs, competition, and political headwinds. In July, the CEO of GEHC said he's shifting capacity to a tariff-friendly region to mitigate the risk. Didn't really disclose more on that. The U.S. business for them, for GE Healthcare, U.S. businesses are growing more cautious on China. Only 41%, believe it or not, are optimistic about the 5-year outlook, the lowest level since 1999. So political tensions, Joey, slowing growth, and domestic competitions weighing a little bit here on GEH.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it here. Sorry. GEHC, there you go, GE Healthcare. Not too bad of a look. Yep, we'll fire that up too. I got a lot going on looking at charts here. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. No, new traders, listen up. First month free, that's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform is everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now.
Boom.
All right, guys, so GE Healthcare. Let's take a look. Down 20% off of those previous pivot highs. and then also in the likes of being up 29% off of those lows. You can obviously pick your poison with this one. I just think some of the healthcare space is in tough right now. We can go through some of the names. We obviously look at Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, Moderna, Pfizer, whatever it may be. It's taking a walloping compared to what the Nasdaq has been up to. I think it's up a measling 1.2% year to date or something along those lines. So it's not doing very good whatsoever.
All right. What do you make of this? Adara looking to spin off their China division and or shift to more tariff-friendly jurisdictions?
I mean, I think both of those options, either way they do it, it really echoes what we're seeing in other sectors. We know Starbucks, for example, is reportedly trying to spin off its China business. And then we also know that we've got companies like a lot of these, Lululemon, et cetera, or even Apple, right, trying to switch to India rather than relying on China. It makes a lot of sense for tariff reasons and also for geopolitical reasons, right? So I think with GEHC, this is just another side of the same coin. And I suspect we're going to probably hear a lot more of this from companies that are maybe more reliant on China, especially if their revenue or projected revenue is going to maybe take a bit of a hit on China. So I think this is natural. I think it makes sense. I think whatever route they go with it, because we've seen companies, as I just mentioned, that have considered or are considering both. I think it does make sense. We'll have to wait and see how all of that unfurls. But yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty par for the course, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you, Adara. Let's go to the last story now. Intel downgraded despite the NVIDIA partnership. Who's downgrading Intel? Citi, that's who. And they downgraded it from a neutral to a sell. Really? I mean, the NVIDIA news really bothered you that much, Citi? Like,
they were haters.
They were straight up haters, Adara. Even after the $5 billion NVIDIA investment we talked about yesterday, they did raise the price target. So they dropped it from a neutral to sell, but they did raise the price target from 24 to 29. But that still implies about a 5% downside from the time that this article was written. Analyst Christopher Danley said the stock is pricing in foundry success, and Citi sees that as highly unlikely. So we'll stop for a second over here and just get into the nitty-gritty of the deal between Intel and NVIDIA. This is a product deal, and it's going to be on CPUs for PCs as well as data centers. But under no circumstance is NVIDIA shifting its production of advanced AI GPUs from Taiwan Semi to Intel. They are not doing that. As such, they are not going to use Intel's foundry business, and that's what everybody was looking for, and that's what Christopher Danley is talking about there. So despite all that, Intel surged 22% in a single day after announcing that $5 billion investment, the best day it's had since 1987. Under the deal, Intel will integrate NVIDIA's GPUs into its CPUs and also build CPUs for NVIDIA's AI platform. Despite the headlines, Citi believes the addressable market for this collaboration is only like $1 to $2 billion and too small to kind of move the needle for their valuation. They're also arguing that NVIDIA's tech integration won't make Intel CPUs more competitive, since CPU performance itself, not graphics, is what drives the PC performance. And rival AMD already offers strong, what they call multi-core CPUs at lower cost, leaving Intel sort of at a disadvantage. So, Joseph, I was kind of optimistic once we heard this headline that maybe the foundry business by Intel would get used, but let's also be as honest as possible. NVIDIA already knew about Intel's processes, the 18A and the 14A nodes that they make these GPUs at. They passed on it, they didn't like it, and now they're investing in this company, but not using, you know, that main product that moved the needle.
Well, I mean, we knew that this is Intel's issue, right? They have no like legitimate hyperscale style customer. And as you mentioned yesterday, was NVIDIA slightly persuaded by someone in the current administration?
Oh, I have no idea.
To put a little cash in there? I mean, it's nothing substantial. If it's like $4 or $5 billion, that's again a drop in the bucket.
How could you suggest that?
Yeah, no,
Joseph?
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like. Hey, it's a coincidence, but if it's not going to hold any weight, and if they can't build their customer base, this could be a totally fake breakout from a technical standpoint. The market already not liking it. You get that pump, you get somewhat of a squeeze, but it looks like it's going to come back and fill up the majority of that gap. They need more customers, and that's where I'm going to stand with Intel. Until you start to see some things reflect in their earnings report, then just expect it to continue to do what it's been doing for the past couple of years.
Fair. All right, Adira, look, they're not using the foundry business, which obviously is a bit of, a letdown because they built these things. They have one under construction in Ohio. They canceled the Poland and Germany ones, but they still have some foundries. But those aren't going to be used by NVIDIA.
Yeah, Jensen was actually pretty pragmatic about the foundries. They were asked about the foundries, and he very politely was like, I'm just not that into you. Maybe we're better as friends. So he basically friend zoned the foundries, which was, again, Jensen is really wholesome, so it wasn't as rude as that might sound, but that was clearly the implication. I do have a couple other angles though I want to take on this, Sharif. So first, I do want to address the implications that were just made about the Trump administration here. I know I have the biggest skeptic of all time, and I don't trust anything. Even I actually don't think that there's any correlation.
Oh,
and
I
say
disagree.
that because we know that we did have Jensen Huang saying this deal has been in talks for roughly a year, I believe he said. He said, obviously, the Trump administration is probably happy that we did this, but I didn't tell them we were going to do this. They didn't know we were going to do this. They didn't ask me to do this. And I'm tempted to believe him.
I'm not.
I will say that. I will start with that. I understand the timing is really odd, and I know usually I'd be the first person trying to find the receipts here. I haven't seen anything to suggest that it happened. And
well, we know that Jensen and Donald have no qualms about striking deals, especially about...
And I initially, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, this has to be connected. And the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe I'm being too much of a conspiracy theorist. Now, obviously they could be connected, but again, I want to see a little bit harder evidence before I opine further on that. I also want to talk about, Sharif, the other interesting aspect of this. Intel also got an upgrade today.
Oh.
And honestly, for basically the opposite reasons that we had the downgrade, which is really interesting. Benchmark here with a nice little $43 price target at Intel. Your eyes are not deceiving you. $43 and a buy rating. And they actually argue, Sharif, that, hey, you know what? Not only could NVIDIA end up being a foundry customer, they could become Intel's largest foundry customer. So a lot of this benchmark upgrade seems to be a little bit optimistic, to put it lightly. But either way, it is an interesting read. Last but not least, I do want to address our friend Donald Trump and this real Truth Social post that he shared today. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what's on his screen. This is an AI image of Trump seemingly right at the break of dawn trading Intel on trading monitors from his White House Oval Office desk. This is a real thing that was shared, and there will be a Truth Social post, or an update rather, to a longer stream of, not Truth Social, X posts about this post on Truth. X at TTV Research for all this wild content.
Thank you, Adira. I want to, I want to build in on something. Yeah. So not only did Donald and Jensen strike a deal for their China revenue, but the U.S. government, a.k.a. the taxpayer, took a 10% stake in Intel. Yeah. And you and I discussed this at the time they took a 10% stake. I said, what would be his incentive for buying Intel unless there was going to be some sort of possible tailwind in the past? And so what we said was nobody was using their foundry business because you didn't like the 18A, you didn't like the 14A nodes. So all of a sudden, you buy a company, what's your first move if they're not doing well? You're looking for a customer for them. Well, he didn't quite get that here because nobody's still using them, but there was a liquid cash injection. So I think there's way too much circumstantial evidence. Whether Jensen says this was discussed a year ago, Jensen's free to say as he likes. Yeah. Nobody's going to audit him on that. And so he's free to say it. So I know that they basically struck several deals, and the timing of this is a little too suspicious.
You think it's awfully convenient, though?
I think it's very convenient.
Yeah, so do I. I sit in the same camp as you. Now, for a question for both of you guys. Now, considering what we've seen in this AI trade over the past couple of years, and we know that Intel has not been participating, and I'm not going to say that they're playing catch-up, but do you think that they can gain some of the ground that they've lost if they do start to acquire more companies and larger hyperscalers start to invest in them as well, too?
But people have passed on their stuff. Like, for example, for custom silicon, what's his name? Google goes to Broadcom. They go to TSMC. Same thing with Amazon. We saw that Trainium. The Trainium was made there. The what's it called? The other one, the TPUs, the Tensor Processing Unit by Google, AVGO, TSMC. Everybody's passing up on Intel. Yeah. So, brother, the product is not good enough. So otherwise, they would have used it.
Yeah. Otherwise, so no. Your answer is no.
No. Unless they can change something.
Unless they can change something, the answer is no.
Anyway. All right, so that's the end of the news segment. So we have about 15 minutes left on the show. So let's go over some trades, guys. I'm still holding VERI here from $5. We just went the beak there at 535. The high of the day on this bad boy is 540. I'm continuing to hold this as it's continuing to hold the 10 exponential. The other one that I've got on is UMAC. This was basically a range trade. My bias was that we would break the top here at 12 2/3. That still hasn't happened. In fact, my beak wetter at 69s is going unfilled despite the fact that we popped up into 67. We're going to pause for a second, send it to Adair. She's got breaking news.
Sharif, I don't know if this is going to be small cap enough for you, but there is this SSYS that just started going. This is Stratasys. It does have more than 1 million shares of volume, so a little bit better than some of these midday breakouts, perhaps. Either way, James Altuche posting on his feed, which is mostly, just kind of long ideas and takeover ideas. He says that this one is an idea that he likes as a long, and that it could be a, quote, $1 billion leader in advanced manufacturing. So SSYS getting some love from James Altuche, pushing to the upside. Back to you.
Dara, for that. What have you been keeping an eye on, Joey?
Yeah, we'll do a quick trade review, brother. Like I said, I'm not going to be putting on anything throughout the remainder of the day. So let's get back into the earlier hours of this session and just see what we got going on, break down the thesis and kind of what the idea was. So first thing is, okay, I've seen that the market was, the Bitcoin crypto space was continuously selling overnight, sells into the pre-market. And was I looking for a complete rebound? I was looking for somewhat of a stronger one. But we didn't end up getting that, and you just take what the market can give you. The space is really weak. I've just been looking at some charts on it, and I don't love the way the technicals are looking. With that being said, does that mean you buy a little bit more? Probably, just in case. But my Ethereum contracts are flat. These things are hot garbage. I might probably hop out of them, considering they're not really doing too much, and they're further dated out. They're not until March. I can hold on to them, or if it decides that it wants to continue to sell, I can get back in at a better price. Let's pull up Ethereum here and see what we got going on. BM&R is looking good. Like, I don't understand why BM&R is trading higher, and this is what we look like from a daily standpoint on Ethereum. Key support level, I don't even want to, I'm not even going to hold these contracts to the lower end of the range, and that's essentially where I'm wrong. So if we open up and over the weekend we start to sell without any substantial bounce or anything that's half decent, then I might just have to come Monday morning, hop out of those contracts. Now, as for Bitcoin, these were working nice, right? We're in a little bit earlier, so we still have a little bit of room there. I don't know why it keeps bringing to the market cap. So yeah, anyways, we got a little bit of room there from 12,600 or 112,600. Sorry, starting to pull back in. I just don't know if we're ready to make that additional leg. I mean, this has been the narrative of Bitcoin. I think this is somewhere around the neck of the woods where I forget when specifically IBIT was released officially. But yeah, you just go in these consistent consolidations. Like, this was a long period, March all the way to November. You're moving in within a $10,000, $20,000 range. You get these big time moves, you pull back a lot of the move, and then you just head right back into this consolidation. So essentially what you want to look for is that when it starts to break out again, look at the strength within these candles. And everybody's constructing a treasury here, treasury there. I thought the space would be performing a little bit better, considering you got the 25 basis point cut as well too. Just keep that in mind. And that's what I was looking for. And did it work out how we wanted to? Not exactly. We have time on the contracts, but considering they are contracts, you have to manage the position slightly different. I can't just be like, oh, I don't really care what happens to this position because in the long run, I'm bullish. No, you have to manage it a little bit more because time is working against you. All right, so that's what I'm thinking with the Bitcoin and the Ethereum space. Now back to the trade review. We get in and then we double it up right at VWAP, and then we did get stopped out 50% there. Now, as for the second entry, this was more or less a scalp. I seen the tape flip, so I got out the remainder. Waited, made a mistake, went short here, got out right away, and then we took another little pop. Unfortunately, we didn't get the whole move on that one. Now, patience. We take the move, we enter in full size, and then we piece out. I'm like, you know what? Let me take out 90% and leave 10% as a runner. We take some more off right there, and then we just get out all out right there. And you can see that it continued to climb. So we didn't catch it all, but we caught some. So you have to be thankful for that. Now, as for Ethereum, ETH-A, we go 1 for 1 on this name. We go for the long off of this hammer candle. The volume was supporting the thesis, but it stopped us out. We hop right back in not too long ago, and then we scalp out. So still slightly red on Ethereum, but green on the day.
Attaboy, Joey. All right, FATN. New position, got in at the 10 EMA. This has been a good one. It started really breaking out during the news segment. So this one started breaking out at 105, 1077 high. We're long at 55s, a couple of beak wetters. The loss of this area trough gets me out of the trade. 914 is where I have my stop at, but it's a topping tail candle right now, and it's trying to defend the 10. So it looks like it might be losing the 10 here now. It's been very respectful of the 10 EMA on the 5, at least so far, ever since the breakout. So maybe I should be moving my stop a little bit higher here to account for the loss of the 10. So I'm long FATN at 955. It's up 60%. It's a good look for this one. 1077 high, still putting in higher lows. So even though it's pulling back into the 10, the trend, at least for the moment, is intact. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I want to update you guys on my other trades over here. UMAC, we're still waiting for a break of 69 on that one. And then VERI, we've been holding this one for a while. So let's take another beak wetter here at the third of a dollar as we start winding down the show. Let's move back, though, to not UMAC, but FATN, back into that $0.75 it goes. We've got a bunch of orders layered here in the 80s. Resistance at that whole dollar level, despite the fact that we've been above it on the day, just because that's where people likely want to take profit or get short, seeing it as the whole dollar level. So that's what I'm looking at right now. FATN, not a bad look, up 60%. So that's a look there. Sir Poopy Hands, thank you for the QMCO earlier. Yeah, look, it's breaking back into that 12.25. So good for you, brother. I see that it bounced off VWAP while we were doing the news. So good on you to be alive to that, and good on you for getting in. What else? Yeah, that's it. No other comments from you guys, and I really don't have any other trades other than the 3 that we've put on here. So we'll continue to watch those. If there are any new small cap gappers breaking out, tag myself or Joe, so that we can let everybody else know about it. And, you know, if it's a good look, then we'll look to punch in as well, Joey.
Absolutely.
What do you got cooking for the weekend, my boy?
Oh, it's a big chilling weekend, man.
It's a big chill. Okay.
Yeah, we got hockey tonight. We went gym this morning. Hockey tonight.
Lucky.
Lucky?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, I can't gym.
Oh yeah, you're hurt.
I'm hurt and I'm sick.
I'm gonna be sending this guy videos like.
Asshole, bro.
Just be like, just lifting. Yeah, no seriousness. No. Hockey this evening at McCormick's. Come check it out. I'm on a streak right now. Oh. And then also might do a siblings dinner this evening.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
They're all right, man. I don't like them that much. But,
what time is it? 1:54.
Yeah, bro. Hey, you can send them that. I'll say it.
You can chirp your brothers all you want.
Exactly. They ain't gonna say anything about that.
Hold on. What's the fam look like there?
What do you mean?
Like brothers and sisters? How many brothers?
You want me to go through it?
I absolutely would.
Okay, so there.
I've known you for over a year and a half. I don't even know.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so by the way, they're all half siblings, same father. One of them same.
Sounds
mother.
good.
All right, so we got Kevon.
Okay.
All right, sorry, we got Olivia.
Okay,
that's
the oldest.
Right. Then we got Kevon.
Okay.
Then we got me. And then we got Letitia.
Okay.
And then we got Sean.
Ooh.
And then we got Victoria.
Wow.
And then we got Devontae.
What?
And then we got Philip.
What?
yeah. And then that's just my dad's
Yo,
side.
that is a flex, Adara, man.
There's a Kevon and a Devontae, because I feel like those names are like kind of close auditorily.
Well, I mean, my dad's name is Devon, so Kevon. There you go. So
Devon, Kevon, and Devontae.
And then Devontae's
I like it.
Devontae's name is actually Devontae Joseph, which is
That's cool. It was hyphenated?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Me, yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you.
yeah.
Why'd they do that? Because like, obviously you're Joseph.
Well,
right?
Yeah, the third one's the best. Right? They say third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
So that's just how it
right
works.
there. There you go.
Assassino's the third as well too. Yeah.
Assassino, you're the third as well, brother.
Yeah. So that's just how it is. The better looking one, the smart. No, I'm obviously being
all right,
joking.
man.
But no, that's
I've always wanted like a big fam, like a brother sister. Well, again, right? I don't know. I've never lived in your. I was never in your shoes. But just growing up, bro, like I always wanted more than one sister, especially because my sister and I, there's 6.5 years, essentially 7 years. Difference. So we had nothing in common, right? We still really have very little in common. So
Sean is the strongest one, and he's the fourth or fifth oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's
what does he do?
He just works out. He's just naturally. He's just one of those naturally strong guys, man. Yeah, he's just strong.
Guys, FATN is breaking out again. Here we go. We just wet the beak there at 10.20. We're long 9.50, 55, excuse me. There's the $0.25, but selling at the $0.25. Let's go ahead and wait here a little bit below the third. Oh no, this is breaking out. Oh no, the shorts are gonna get squeezed. Don't do that to them. No, I'm playing, of course. Let's see if we can kind of get some continuity there into the high of the day. FATN, man, nice midday mover here with decent volume. Let me tell you, 3.25 million, but the majority of the volume really started at 1 o'clock, so we're only about 56 minutes deep into the volume on this one. Shout out to J Money. FATN is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's not bad, man. It's breaking out. Who can complain about that? Pop up into 10.25, but definitely looking for some continuity, J Money. I'd like maybe to touch that 10.75 high a day. 10.77 is the HOD on FATN. But Joey, this thing comes back into that 9.5. We're flattening out. We're not going to give anything back.
No, you don't want to give anything back, man. So yeah, other than that, guy's day trader cut. He obviously has no idea what those are. And I mean, it's a part of.
I'm assuming I kind of understand that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's part of the culture. You got to go down there and see how it is. It's good a great time. I love it. Yeah, it is good vibes only, really, to be honest with you. But when they get rowdy, they get real rowdy at times.
That's awesome, though, man. I mean,
it's awesome. Okay. But you get what I'm getting at there. It can get a little hectic. No, it's beautiful, man. I love going down there, staying at the house and everything along those lines. Over the years, watching it getting built, when we used to stay there was only half a house.
What?
Right? Yeah, and we would have like the metal sheets on top, and then obviously progressively as we got older, then it's now completed.
Seen that whole thing go from scratch.
Yeah,
nice,
exactly.
I've always wished to do that.
Yeah,
build my own place. But,
it's country living. It's real country living. You go out there, you got a nice farm field in front of you, and all.
How far outside of Kingston?
About an hour and a half.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're still you can do city if you want.
Yeah, like for me, I'll go to like a smaller town of a smaller town called like Maypen and stuff. We're from Lioneltown, by the way. My cousins go to QMCO High School. I went there when they go to class and stuff like that. It's weird, man. It's like the classrooms and everything along those lines are completely different.
Hold on, you live there?
No, I would just go there. No, I would just go there and see
That's
see
pretty cool,
and stuff. Yeah, and experience everything, drive around. Yeah.
Of course. He hears something about you. He's gonna come in hot there. Big Spile Burdette, $5 super chat. Okay, can't believe little Joey Smalls forgot me. I'm his brother from another mother. Joke here, bro.
Yeah.
Get it, Big Spile. We love you. We miss you, brother. Join us a little bit more, man. I know that you're working. I know you're doing your thing 25, but always love having you on, Big Spile, and thank you for the messages. Always make me chuckle, brother. Always. Guys, FATN is going, and here we go. We just got into 70, so there's somebody selling up a storm over here as we popped up into that 70 penny area. We're that very close to the high of the day. So I thought we were going to definitely taking this out, but either people are profit taking up a storm at this level or the shorts are all sorts of crazy. This is a very volatile stock, man. Holy cow, I've been only watching it for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It's awfully volatile. It moves dollars at a time. Back to 960, up to 1060. So FATN, trade it carefully, guys, because at some point it will turn. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that turn, especially if you're long, but it's holding the 10 EMA. So, I mean, that's all I can say about that. But anything below $0.50, Joey, we're flattening out, and that looks like it might be coming soon. Get it, Katina, man. I don't know. I thought he was going to big up a position, but he was bigging you up, Joey.
Get it, Joey, up, I don't even know me.
No, Katina, man. I thought you were going to big up. I'm not going to even say that, brother. All right.
My selective hearing is horrible, man.
Your selective hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all a little tired today. But see that time right there?
It is, man.
You see that, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 o'clock, baby. Oh, dude, I am going straight to jail. I mean, my bed.
Like right away.
I'm going straight home, bro. I am sick. I am hurt. And all the good stuff all together, all in one package.
Pure uncomfortable.
Pure uncomfortable. But here we are, right? You gotta do what you're obligated to do, my guy.
It's not even for them too, right? You gotta like chilling out with everybody in the chat. It is Friday. We got Clarendon and Jamaica in the house, always representing a lot of good stuff there. But yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, guys. The lion isn't the largest animal in the savannah, but it is because of its mentality. So.
The elephant, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is
Yeah,
it's the,
I know
it's
you're
the king
making a
because because of its mentality. So you don't have to be the biggest or the baddest.
Shout out
you
to
just
the
gotta have them. You gotta have you gotta have the mind game there. So
All right.
there you go.
Big boys are that way. Peace.